reality. So we obviously have the ability of the framework, but we want to make it completely custom to what we want to do with the city. Give me 1 second. Get my headset. So we kind of outlined some of those changes already in the announcement. Um, that is not all that I'm sure is coming to the city, but we do feel like maybe it's time to make some adjustments, get a fresh slate, obviously show support and love to the people that have supported us and that have donated and have been a part of this city for a long time because we wouldn't we wouldn't have anybody if you guys weren't here playing. So without you, like we really have no community. Um, but we are looking to bring you guys some playmates. So I've personally stayed away from advertising um, with my spot in the framework. Um, I was kind of waiting for a moment that I felt like the city was in a good place to advertise because I didn't want it to feel like everybody else's city. Now with Josh being on board, where we have kind of the outlets to do some of that advertising, that we feel like we could bring in a lot more people if just with our I guess our standings and this is kind of like really showcasing what we can do with this framework. So it's really important to us as well because this is not saying that there's not other cities out there with their running QB core that aren't good, but it's attached to two of the people that kind of founded the idea of bringing the community of people that were building frameworks together to make something that could compete with all the other cities that you go into and play. Mostly everything was ESX, which is probably makes no sense to you guys. But I want Xander, you
Yep.
care you care to like kind of take over for a second?
Yep.
All right,
For
cool.
sure. What's up, everybody? So yeah, I mean, this is just a new chapter at the end of the day. We had to look and see you know, what needs to be done, and how do we set ourselves up to move forward in the right direction while also like being ready to receive, a potentially new player base. In just the one announcement that Josh put out today, um, in the Discord, like we saw a lot of people join. Right? I don't know if you guys were around for that, but he's got some pull, right? And at the end of the day, we have to be ready to receive new players and make sure we have everything set up. Jimmy sent a bunch of questions through, so I figure we can kind of go through some of that. And Handy or Ricky or Cage, feel free to jump in as well as we go through some of these. What are a few things that we can expect to see in the new city server jobs, activities, etc.? Um, Handy, I know you've been talking with Josh about that. You want to care to explore that?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't, we don't want to give anything away. It's hard to tease you into, kind of draw you in without kind of ruining stuff. But we do have some fresh activities and content coming for sure. Um, I actually went through
More
today
on
and
that. Sorry, my headset
yeah, go
died,
ahead.
but
You're okay.
just more on. No, you're good, Handy. I just wanted to add to that. Well, more on the activity side, right? Things to do with your friends when you're bored of just grinding. Like I think that's. I feel like that's kind of where we're missing the mark. Is not only our jobs just a little too ordinary, but our activities to do with friends. Like there's outside of cars, what else is there to do? I think that's what me and Josh have really been looking at and thinking about. Like, how can we keep the community engaged even when they're bored? And so that's what our focus is going to be more on, and hopefully bringing some originality and some uniqueness to the jobs, along with the drugs, the things that we know people like to do. How can we make that an even better system? How can we tie that in? Can we tie the businesses in with the crafting, and can we tie in we just want to make like even the trucker that makes deliveries, like he's responsible for helping supply your storages for your business. those kinds of things that make jobs actually useful instead of it just being such a boring grind that's tedious and nobody wants to really do that a
A
couple
web of
hours a day.
interaction.
Um, but yeah, go ahead, Handy. I just wanted to kick in on that
No, I mean, yeah,
activities part.
that's that's a nail on the head, really. Just to put it simply, like we want a web of interaction. We want to link all these businesses. We want, um, all these businesses kind of have a perk. I want to see like a cop and a criminal to walk into the same establishment to buy something. We want to just have more kind of deep RP. But anyway, back to content. We have a ton of activities coming, and they're gonna roll out. Like we're not gonna obviously drop everything right off the bat. We want to be super careful this time, and make sure that we're keeping you guys entertained. So we're gonna drop content as we go. We're gonna make sure it's fleshed out. Um, Xander, what was the other part of that question? Beyond activities.
It was jobs activities.
Okay, so yeah, so pretty much Flip nailed it on the head. Really, to put it simply, I don't want to give away what we have coming, but just know that it's there. For a fact, it is there. I've seen it. We've been working on it. It is coming. Next
Um,
question.
what I'll add to that as well is that I know I've talked with Flip and Josh a few times about um, we all have been here for a long time. Most of the names here are people who are dedicated to the city, and we truly appreciate everyone that's always here. And we might have our squabbles once in a while, but we really do appreciate everybody that sticks with us. But my my focus and conversations with these guys have been when it comes to jobs, we need to find ways to make these jobs allow new people to come here and feel like they're a part of the city and not just an outcast walking around. Um, and that's why, I've personally pushed things like towing and things like that because to a new person that comes in and walks to city service, 'cause that's the first thing they do is they try to go get a job. And if they get a call from some cop to come tow a car, or you call him to tow your vehicle, that interaction that they just got from a random person is what keeps them into the city and not walking around feeling like an outcast. And so that's been what I've been pushing with Flip, and he's definitely understood that. I really think we need to find a way to keep our new people around to get to know people before they just quit and go somewhere else. There's so much competition. We have to give them a chance to get a meaningful job, and that's the
Absolutely.
plan.
Cool. Next, let's see. Uh, will there be any rule changes for city life as civilian, cop, gang, or RP in general? We're definitely going to take a look at the rules and probably maybe clarify some things. But you guys will have access to all of that, prior to the launch. The only other big thing that's definitely coming down the pipe in relation to that would be the city service jobs that were outlined in the announcement. Basically, if you're a cop, PD, EMS, um, I'm missing one, I think. But anyway, no
Mayor,
gang.
government official.
You're a
Yep.
government official, yeah. No gang relation there. I mean, ultimately, the arguments can be made of power gaming. If you're EMS, yada yada yada. So we're just going to clarify that whitelisted jobs. We're always kind of the thing that would get thrown around, but we're not going to. I mean, Burger Shot is a whitelisted job. I'm not going to say a gang member can't work at Burger Shot, but a gang member can't be a cop. A gang member can't be in the government. A gang member can't be in EMS. And that's going to cause some changes, and we understand that. And it's going to be some growing pains, but it's definitely a move for the best, in our opinion.
Well, we're also going to keep an open mind as far as the cousins thing goes. The thing with the cousins is I don't care if people have cousins as long as you can just not use information as meta for one, and then two, be a different personality. That's the only thing that bothers me. If you're gonna have a second character, don't be the same character because that's confusing. If you sound the same and your character even kind of looks the same, and you're gonna say, "Well, we're cousins," well, okay, but it's still confusing.
And
So
the cousin
please
is
come with
is
like a
like
different personality if you're gonna do a cousin.
the cousin is the word to describe another. It doesn't actually have to be a cousin. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be family. Like treat it like a totally different person. You know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Utah has nothing to
exactly.
do with Xander Williams as an example. Like totally different entities, and they never met and never will, obviously, because you can't be in two places at the same time. But the idea here is to like be a different persona and have a different vibe. And when people see that character, they're thinking that it's that character, not, oh, that's, you know, a Commissioner Prodad or that's Jack Cage. They're obviously two different people, right?
If the
Well,
focus is RP, that's what's important. If it's caught that it's using it for their own financial gain, that's where the problem comes in. And I think the cousin thing definitely is something that we should
um,
open up to and let people show a true new character and have a backstory. Like you guys have all heard my backstory of Cage and where he came from, and that's what I hope everyone else can do. Is just think of something new and creative and come in as that person and own it and be it. So that's
yeah.
the hope.
So you got like I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe more to decide that. Um, so you can get that all figured out. But I think what we need to do better is we just need to tie things in properly. Um, and I was actually had something to say, but damn it, Jack Cage.
Oh no, did I steal your thunder?
Yeah, you stole my thunder, bro.
I'm
It'll come
sorry,
back.
brother.
Maybe it will. Someone else go.
All right.
It's gonna kill me.
What are current gang members have to look forward to with the new city? More detail explaining the new system.
Um, so again, we're gonna have a gang meeting. I don't want to get too I don't want to get too deep here, but
We don't want to get too
we
caught up
are
in the
looking
minutia,
at
though. Yeah,
yeah
it's progression, guys. It's
yeah.
something to work forward or work
Yeah,
together
thank you.
towards.
That was what it was. Progression. God damn
Oh,
it.
okay. Come back. Go
So,
ahead.
all right. So we are looking to expand more on what new players like, how to engage new players from the moment they come into the city. But I think if we execute it properly, we're trying to kind of build a progression system. So your character actually will progress in things, being good at your job, being part of a good reputable gang. I don't know. We've
Do
talked
we
about a
have?
lot of things.
Can you give him an example? So like
So maybe
cooking,
you
for
could
example.
maybe the well, I don't want to give too much away, I guess, but
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
you could be better at cooking. Maybe you can use less resources to make your recipes. Maybe there's perks to things. That's kind
I
of where we're
think
looking at is kind of having an actual progression system based on how well you play your role, how active
without
you are in
disclosing
your
too
role.
much. Yeah, I mean it's without disclosing too much. We want to try to get people to understand what's coming and some people might have heartburn, but I think even a tiny hint of what's coming might get people to realize that it's for the better in the long run. Um, and
Well,
hopefully they understand
I'm
that.
just saying that all I'm saying is
This
that
is pretty lit.
we see that we need to engage more with new players, but we also need to give the players that have been here and have grinded their fingers off something to do. So I
Yep.
think progression and things that are somewhat obscure and hardcore is for those players that really are looking for they spend a lot of time in here and kind of are just looking for something different to do or something to master that other people don't or can't.
So
Yep.
the word of the day is progression, and that's going to be a topic amongst a lot of the different areas, right? So whether
Yeah.
it's gangs or jobs or
Progression.
whatever, we want progression systems built into those.
Yeah.
Uh,
So just back to gangs, like he's saying, we're just looking at again progression A and B. We want to help give you the tools to have a fully functional gang life and to be able to focus on
Progression.
gang
That's the
RP and
word of
have
the
it not get
day.
stale. And that's all I'll say. And we'll have a gang meeting and we'll touch base on that more.
Progression.
next topic, crypto. How do we plan to make it more stable to prevent an economic flood? Uh,
Progression.
TLDR, the code was broken. It required a lot of babysitting and it eventually zeroed out. And that caused it to crash. And when it crashed, people bought and bought multiplied by, you know, a shit ton, right? Um, long story short, the code has been cleaned up and we're not going to face that issue in the future. Anything to add, Flip, or is that good enough?
No, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more improved on, but that's something me and Josh will figure out the next week or two, maybe even Monday.
Next
But
question.
as far as the actual crashing of it, it won't do that anymore now.
Next question would be for Ricky. It's how many cars will be in the new car pack and how many are going to be removed? We're looking to start off the new economy or the new city with all of the one of ones in the city, obviously. So, however many those are, plus about 100 cars, and that's going to get added upon with time. But that's where we want to start.
There will be up to upwards of like 30 or 40 whips that you haven't seen. That's
Ricky,
kind of where we're at.
What's that?
Ricky,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
then the rest of them will just be really good, like the best of the best that we know of.
Yeah, I may add a few. Like I got about 35 new cars for the pack, but if I come across something,
Yeah, it's something we can
then yeah, I could add
adjust.
something in. Yeah.
We're trying to give you guys some new flavor too. So I know we know that you guys want some new cars. I know that the cars that we have in the city are kind of old, but there are some cars in the city now that are pretty cool. And so we'll keep some of those with all the modifications and all the pretty ones. But we're definitely gonna look to add some new flavor.
Or
Are we allowing questions during this as well? And if
Oh,
so, where are
the
they
biggest
directed
thing
on?
is we should probably talk about is car handling,
yeah,
Yes,
because I think this
100%.
one is where people might get be on the fence about this, but after a whole lot of discussing and talking about it and really looking at the whole system of cars and how cars should operate, what's fun. Um, Having cars go 300 miles an hour might be fun. I get it. But when you look at the scaling of GTA compared to real life, it's just it's too fast. And not only is it too fast, but going 300 miles an hour causes desyncing and people falling through floors and weird things happening because your computer can't keep up with how fast you're going. Um, so I think that if a car goes 300 miles an hour, that's awesome. But we have to go way down. If we're going to build a city that actually creates good criminal RP, I think cars need to be harder to control. Cars need to be slower. They need to feel like realistic cars to scaling. Um, Not saying that we aren't willing to adjust certain things because we are, but without giving too much information away. But I think we're looking to slow down the high speed chases a lot.
Well, and Xander always has explained
It's better for
the
racing too when the
perspective.
cars
Well,
like if you race around with the vanilla cars, I'm sorry, and maybe some of you guys will disagree hard with me. It just feels better. It
percent
feels like
feels better.
actual race.
Yeah,
Oh
we're on the
yeah,
same page here.
yeah.
So,
We got a next question, Xander.
Let's see. How many clothing items should we expect in the new city? I know Josh has been working with Handy on a new clothing pack, which we'll have launched, but look for just a lot of cleaned up options, correct? Cleaned up and newer.
Yeah, I mean that's Josh. Josh is on that. He's working on the clothing pack. I'm going through and doing some custom clothing, but there's not going to be a whole slew of custom clothing coming up off at the rip. So um, new clothing will be coming. Josh already said it would be. That's all we can tell you, and I hope you are satisfied.
okay. He said no clothes, no peace. All right. I haven't been reading the chat.
All right, next.
Just kind of going through these that are less suggestions and more like questions for this. Are we still doing an ever-changing economy? Previously was stated before, every few weeks items, drugs prices would reflect the economy that would be happening. I mean, the goal is that we get the economy to a point that makes sense and is like scalable within the city. And then with time, things change, but we don't want things fluctuating that drastically week to week, if that makes sense. Like we want it to be
If
fairly.
it does, it's going to be automated, and that's what I would like to do. It's just Yeah, it would be a project for me and Josh. So I can't promise when that would be, but it would be awesome to have an actual economy that's based around something of value. So the economy, so the actual economy is backed by something like a real economy, and that's how prices go up and down. And maybe that could be crypto. I don't know, but I feel like that would be more dynamic and it would be a lot more fun for the player if it was scaled.
Right. Because I mean, I mean, there should be some fluctuation to like market prices and things like that, right?
Right. Like the
And as
price
long as
of
it
milk.
makes sense within
Like
the macro scope of the economy, then it's
cold cuts
within
went
reason.
up. Like I don't
Right.
know.
Gallon of milk is now 3.58. Um,
But we'll
uh,
get there. That's something that I feel like we can accomplish with Josh here. Definitely. I think it was too overwhelming for just me by far to
mhm.
try to figure this shit out in a fashionable time. So um these are just some of these are long-term ideas, but I think it's something we could accomplish. All right, what's the next question?
With a new city / new name, will past permabans be erased and start over, or will they stay?
I'm willing to unban everybody. But that
But if you're a
means
previous shitlord, don't
yeah,
get.
that we'll be on a short leash, I'm gonna be honest, And that
Mhm.
and we have good reason to do that. I mean, I feel like we give a lot of people a lot of chances. Like we're pretty chill. We'll rehab you. We'll work with you. But some people have just shown enough to us that we just don't really want to give them too many chances.
Next question: what exactly are we keeping, and what are we permanently losing?
Ooh, permanently losing.
Terms of what?
Everything. All right.
I,
So,
I
yeah,
mean, let's give
I
a
don't
little,
know
guys.
as
Let's
far
give a
as
little. Let's give
I
a
don't know
little
as
love,
far as
little excitement. Not much. I
losing.
mean, not too many revisions.
No, that's a good question.
Okay.
As far as what we're losing, I would say a lot of it will be changing.
well, no, I
I don't
think
know
they're
if
talking about
losing.
player inventory, player assets. That's what they're referring to.
Is that it? Because I mean,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking
So
about.
that's how I read the question.
Oh, okay, yeah, donor packs. Okay, so yeah, donor packs. The way we're doing it is, um, the last 2 months or whatever of people that ordered like mystery crates and stuff, we'll let you re-roll those. Now we are changing the parameters of the mystery crates. Um, it was 2 to 4. Now it's on a chance base, 1 to 3. So, just being honest with you, you have more of a chance of getting 2 than 3 or 1, but that's how we decided it. The mystery crates, it felt like just a little too much. Like if we continued doing it, it was going to water down the economy with cars.
I mean,
with
it
that
already
We
it
had to
did.
make an
with that
adjustment.
said, the store is getting a revamp, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I
true.
don't
That's
know if
true
it's gonna
too.
roll
The
out, but
store
there's
is
going to be
getting
a lot
revamped.
of
There's
really
new
dope
stuff.
content in there. So
Um, but anyways, we don't want to punish like people that did support and donate in the last 2 months. We do honestly feel like, if it was like 4 months ago, you got like a mystery crate, like we love you to death, but I feel like maybe hopefully you got at least your money's worth out of that. And plus it's so much to go through, like to try to tie in all this and to get all the players and stuff. So 2 months is far enough. Um, well, Mona, most of yours has been within that 2 months anyways, Mona. Um, and then you get your one-of-ones back. And I obviously, um, anything moving forward is the same thing. So if you pre-ordered whatever, doesn't matter.
Flip. The question did come in earlier during some DMs that I had. If someone bought a one of one, are they able to transfer that to another player if they don't play in the city anymore, or is that lost to the city?
Um, Well, so if a player bought a one-of-one but doesn't play in the city and gave it to somebody else,
Right. Is the rights transferable as far as like ownership, or is it they don't play in the city anymore? It's gone.
I don't know. That's a tricky question because honestly, from the developer side, I would like to say if you don't play in the city anymore, I would like to take that spot back for that car because less cars, the better the server runs anyways. So why hold on to a bunch of one of ones if nobody
If people
drives
aren't
them,
even
even
here.
player that even paid for
Yeah.
them doesn't even play in the city. Yeah, I don't
And that to
know.
be said, like we still have the cars, and if we choose to add cars down the line too, like we have a huge pool to pull from, right?
Yeah, I just yeah, I guess that's where I stand.
I think there's a lot of context that would have to go into that kind of conversation. It would be more of a ticket that we would talk about the scenario, because if it's bringing someone back because they're excited for uh what maybe they felt was missing in the past and they want to try to come back, I mean, maybe that's something we can talk about. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean
that
that's how I feel. Like if you came back to the city and you're like, hey, I need my one of one, and you haven't even played in here for 5 months, like you have your one of one. Like welcome back. But
As far as
I think we're
transferring is a
almost
different story,
I think
right?
we're almost unfairly diluting a market. If the player's not even in the server anymore and he's the one that paid for it, and now he's giving it to all of his buds, like
yep.
we're just finding ourselves back in the same situation.
Well, and that's changing, correct, gentlemen,
Yeah.
as far as the one-on-one process.
Yeah, I would rather throw it on the Lux catalog, right, Jimmy?
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at with that.
That's what I'm saying. We'd have cars to add to the current city from people who are no longer with us, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Once you run out of questions, Xander, we will give people an opportunity
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come up and speak.
yeah. This next one was asking a full introduction on Josh. He's not here for speak for himself. Do you want to give some background on Josh Flip or?
uh, yeah, I love speaking for other people. Josh, all right, so Josh is the framework maintainer for QB Core. There originally was a unspoken about framework called something that we won't speak about, and sorry, I was reading chat. And we decided instead of like having, he said, nerd talk. Oh shit. Yeah, this is a complicated story. I don't know how I speak for another person.
Just
He
give him. He
fucking
likes. All right.
develops.
He likes
He
long walks on the
he
beach.
likes to
Develop.
develop. He
Work
has kids and a wife. He's a normal person just like the rest of you. Maybe even more normal than the rest of you. He's just a boring guy that likes to write code. Like
Yep.
what is so
Okay.
interesting about
All
Josh?
right, look, guys, let me explain something. Here's what I'll say. The guy is a beast when it comes to coding. The guy is incredible, and he makes shit look super easy that I would sit there and my eyes would go
Well,
crossed and I would give up.
anybody can
So,
do that.
And he'll
hey,
let you
shut
know
up.
it. And he'll let you know it.
But he is absolutely
He
he
knows
is
what he
really good
knows
at code.
stuff. We're not gonna talk him up and talk about Code God, but he's very smart.
Yes.
He's the one that built this framework, or at least helped redesign it to make it usable for other people. So yeah, he definitely has the skills to do anything we want done.
And he's a big
So
player in the 5M development
plus,
community.
yeah, so me and him, I think the future is a lot more uh brighter than it was with just me doing this by myself. Just being honest. So.
Cool. Next, can the welcome pack or loyal member pack be explained more and what's going to be included?
We cannot divulge that information, but it's pretty cool. That's it. It's pretty cool.
If you're deciding to stay with us, you come in the city, you're going to get some cool shit that is only going to be exclusive to community members, right? Who come over at the start, and then anyone who comes into the city is going to have like a welcome pack with things to just kind of explore. We'll just leave it at
Get
that.
a little
Mhm.
quality of life. You'll get some first looks at shit, and you'll get some exclusives that'll never be dropped again, and that's it.
We want you to
Well,
feel engaged from the moment you walk in this time. From the moment you connect to the city, we want it to feel like, oh, there's shit to do. And then you just start running around and you don't even care that you don't have a car. That's the kind of the thing that I want people to feel like as soon as they connect.
will role player of the month make a comeback? Sure. We want as much community involvement as possible. We
Right.
want the mayor job to have press conferences where we hold those kind of community meetings and shit like that. Like, sure, yes, it's something that we can 100% commit to.
We'll probably look to also kind of redesign the Discord a little bit and make it a little bit more functional. Also, all right, so we do have an issue, guys. While we're all here, we got to talk about it. Um, right now, we have picked a name that everybody likes, right? But I'm gonna blame Josh. No, you know what? Whose fault is it? Xander?
No, it's Handy's and
I
Josh.
blame Xander. What the
Fuck
fuck?
you,
All
not
Fuck
me.
you!
right.
You guys were
Anyways,
checking to
Fuck
see if it was with
you!
other people. I was just suggesting names, okay? This was not
You're
my
muted.
fault. This was not my fault.
all right.
All right, go sit
We
in the
picked it.
audience.
We picked a name with there's a member of our QB core staff.
Unbeknownst to us,
Cool
we picked a
guy.
name,
We
and
picked
it
the
turns
name.
out
His
that
server is also named Limitless RP. So not only it's just with him being part of the project, it feels kind of scummy. Or I wouldn't really care. I'd say, you know what, we'll be all right. But
fuck
we
'em.
got to pick a new name. So do you guys want to help us pick a new name or what?
And we'll do this at the end. If you have questions
No,
at
no,
the
no,
very end,
no. He's
feel
a
free
cool
to.
dude. He's a cool dude. So
Absolutely.
it's not like I don't know. I don't understand how Josh didn't even realize that.
None of
I
us.
didn't either. So
There's so
I
many
guess
service
I'll take
guys.
blame.
It's all of our
Well, the
fault.
challenge is, anything we think of, there's probably a server called that, right?
Well, yeah,
This one
but
just happens to be somebody
yeah,
who's involved in the
right.
community.
That's what it is. And I got a moral code, so we can't do this name.
So with that said, if you do ask a question, you raise your hand at the end of this thing. If you want to just throw a name idea out there, go ahead. So just go ahead and start racking your brain now. Any more questions, Xander?
Oh yeah, we still got some. Let's see. Who created the logo? Handy and I. Who came up with the name? It was a collaborative effort between Handy, myself, and Josh. Not that it matters. Will
Basic.
there be more wipes in the future? Example, every few months, years, etc.
Undetermined.
The prison system. Yeah, the prison system will be a lot different.
Oh,
I mean,
let's talk about that. So here's the thing, guys. Court works when people show up, right? But we don't want people to feel like they have to show up just to sit there and not RP, say not guilty, and then get sentenced. So with the new city, if you get arrested for a job, you're going to get told you're looking at a fine and time of X and Y. And you're going to have the option to be like, I'd like my day in court, in which case you can defer and go to court and try to argue your case. But
Yeah.
show up and actually try to fucking argue it. Sorry for my language, but it gets really frustrating when we try to put on these things and there's like, well, do you have anything to say? And you're just like, guilty. It's not good RP, man. Like that's really what it comes down to. My favorites were the Bob Fixums of the world where we can have a back and forth, or it's Dakota who's going to argue with me about the semantics of X, Y, and Z. Like that's fun RP. But if you just want to go serve your jail sentence, we'll give that to you right away. And this way you won't be beholden to show up on whatever day we decide to hold court. But the idea is that it'll still be a standard day, and the cases for that week who choose to be there, who said they want to go to court, are going to be the ones that get scheduled.
let's talk about the vision. The vision at first was to put everybody in the prison together. And
These guys are
at
funny.
first, it worked. I mean, at first, we had
We were
enough
putting
people
15,
being able to
17
get
people there at a
together.
time. Yeah.
But
Oh, is Chow in here?
Chow is
Yeah.
in
yeah,
here.
he is. Chow's in there.
Oh,
So if the population goes
buddy.
up, the court system was something that people enjoyed thoroughly. I heard so many compliments about court and the way we RP'd court.
We had some
So
of our highest pop days
yes,
on court nights. And that's
yes.
like, that's not a pat on the back by any means. Like that, people liked it. It was fun. It was something to do.
If we can build a pop, I think court is important. I think court is something that is very special compared to other cities that do not do it. But I mean, we will be managing, kind of monitor it as we go. But I do think people can be way more creative coming to court with more stories behind their arrest instead of just I'm guilty. I mean,
Hey, real
more
quick. Hey,
stories.
Josh, will you at least give him a quick background? I didn't want to speak for you,
I sent him a
and
Hold
then
on,
you
invite.
he
can
has to
go
get
about your night.
tell him to click above for accept. And then Josh across the top of the screen and say accept.
Yeah, he might not want to. Let's just continue. He'll get it if he
Okay.
wants to pop in.
All
It's
right.
too loud. Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Xander.
You were talking about court. I stepped
Yeah,
out.
does anybody else have any other questions or
No,
anything
we
to
You
can-
hear
add to
Xander
this?
talking
we got
from 100 feet away.
we got more questions here. We got more questions.
Right.
With the influx of hopefully more people, will the city increase the gang cap of 8? I mean, it'll be kind of one of those things that gets decided, on a need basis, right? Like we're definitely not opposed to it, but the pop's got to make sense if that makes sense, right? Like we're not just gonna off the bat, increase it to 16 as an example.
Yeah.
And I guess the question in that is, flip from a standpoint of explaining the why behind it so they understand it. Sheer dominance of the 16 player gang compared to people with 4 is that essentially the
right, and that's
reasoning
part of
behind
it
it?
too. Like if we've got gangs that are unoccupied at the time, we're not going to increase the gang limits, right?
Yes, to add to that, Mike, yes, definitely. I want people to be able to fly. I want a flying school. I want, people to actually be able to do something with the planes. So definitely look forward to that because I won't stop until we have planes. Pet stores, yes. Boat gas stations, that's a great idea. Trailers, we can definitely do that.
So
So
check your
yeah,
DMs
these are
real
the
quick.
I already did.
Sorry. Okay.
So yeah, those are definitely things that we all want to add.
We talked about the cousin rule. People just bought new houses. Are we keeping guys? Everything's going away. Your bank accounts are gone. Only like cars that have been one of ones or mystery rolls within the last 2 weeks. Other than that, it's going to be what's in the starter pack and yada yada yada. That's the only thing that's carrying over. Is that right, Handy? Flip.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
With some new flavor. So it's
Know
not the
about
Lots,
same
the
grind.
lots of flavor, man. Lots of flavor.
Do they know about the new rights or whatever? Like the new rights of one of ones?
Yeah, they're one
Uh
of twos now.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
we can talk about that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Make sure it's
So,
all out there.
so the exclusive vehicle from its inception on the website always said that this was supposed to be something that was only for you, right? When we first launched it, it got carried away and they were literally giving away 12, 13 of the same car and it got away from us if we're going to be honest. At that point, rather than taking everything away, we just capped it at yours plus 3. The compromise has been made to still give rights to somebody else, but it's going to be done at the market price of the car. It'll live in the Lux category or the Lux catalog, but will only be sold when you give them permission to sell it. But it'll be priced according for whatever kind of car it is. If it's a Ferrari, it's X in the new economy. If it's a Camry, it's Y. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the blanket $25,000 or whatever we were currently doing. That didn't really make a whole lot of sense or provide business for the business, right?
Yep.
Anything to
Yeah.
add there, Flip?
Okay.
Nope. I mean, yeah, it's just it
It's
was
so the
meant to
one of
be a
one's
one
now
of
one of
one,
two, but you have to
and
buy it from Lux, the second one.
right, yep. So the car dealer actually makes a profit off of selling a car.
Yep,
I think we lost Flip.
maybe. But
Stroke.
No,
that's
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Woo.
realistic economy coming into play. Gas price should be fixed. I.e., motorcycles should not cost 90 to fill up. There's no guys like realistic is relative, right? Like we're also have to live between certain limitations of like
Yeah,
what we can and can't do. So
I will say one thing that we probably will happen is because we probably will place more of an importance on stress and food a little bit. Not to say that it's going to be cancerous, like you guys would probably expect, but we want to make it so that there's, I would say food prices, drugs, stuff like that, prices of those go up, and those will kind of set the tone for the market. So I would probably say that that's one thing that'll change. Price of food will probably go up, even if it's a pretty realistic market. We want to have more food engagements, like people actually using the burger shot or people using a restaurant Um, we're gonna kind of redesign how we do restaurants because right now we just don't feel like people are really care about them. Maybe it's a little too plain. So
Yep.
yeah, I definitely want to think of something more engaging, Mike, than just the slap a burger on a patty or a patty on a bun and give it
Well,
to somebody.
and just to speak on kind of the behalf of what I've seen and personally in the changes, I think as we roll forward and people in the city find different opportunities and issues, um, these guys, Flip and Josh, have been incredibly quick at fixing some of the basic things that we've talked about. And so when we find those issues of gas costing too much or consumption of fuels too much, they've been fixing them very quickly. And I think we will continue that route because Flip not being a one man show has it's definitely going to make a difference. So I mean, obviously we're going to find that opportunity and fix it immediately.
Yeah. Well, we'll be pretty balanced out the gate. So hopefully we
Yep.
won't have to do any of that anyways. Obviously, like I talked about, I would like to have an economy. So,
Heard. Moving on. Are the developers looking for playtesters to find bugs, exploits in the city before going live?
absolutely.
Yep. When we do kind of stuff like that, Josh has already got a few guys in his test to work on some things I've seen. So it'll be on a need basis and just,
Mhm.
we usually hit up the chat for
Keep
stuff
an
like
ear
that.
out. Keep an eye
Yep.
out.
There probably will be some days that we could use some testers. The more people, the better, because that's when things start to get funky. Is when a bunch of players are standing in the same area.
I just bring
So,
in Jimmy. He breaks everything. So
hmm yep, Jimmy's good at wrecking things. Wreck it, Jimmy.
what else do we got?
Can we keep our pets after wipe?
I
Uh,
might be willing to. I might be willing to help out with the pet. It probably won't be all of your pets, but you
Pick
might
a
get
pet.
like a
Pick a
nice
pet.
little.
I
we've
vote a
got
It
pet
a
might be
store.
part of the supporter thing,
yeah,
I
we've got
vote
an
a
idea
pet
for it
store.
already. We've got an idea
yeah.
for it already. We don't want to. Yeah. So
All right.
But we want to make them. We want to make them available to players, anyways, right? So I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask for.
Right.
Um,
Last question I have on this list is probably my favorite question. What kind of things will be implemented to maintain the city during uh, broken resets and things that break? Are we going to be in a situation where we break three things after we fix two?
no,
No.
no,
So
not with Josh
couple
here.
yeah. So a couple of things that we've started to do in the last few weeks is maintain, an active list of things that need to be fixed, and we actually do our best to get them done in a very timely manner. If they're 911, we do our best to get it fixed before the next restart. But if it's quality of life and things like that, we have a daily maintenance day, maintenance Mondays. If you guys have seen where, that's our time to, hey guys, we're going to be in the city, and it's going to be a frequent restarts and things like that, and that's because we're trying to fix shit, right? Um, that said, we are going to disable the report a bug channel. It's going away. If you have an issue, create a ticket. It's the only way that we can keep track of it. You guys see those channels. We get lost in the fluff that gets brought up in between there. So if you have suggestions, there's a suggestion channel, but the bug channel is going to go away. If there's a bug, submit a ticket. It helps us keep everything tracked
Yeah,
and actually
submit
get
the
them fixed.
tickets because it actually goes to our project.
Right.
Like, so we have a fire station, Mike. We have all right. So that's another thing that's probably going to be coming in to make the actual. Oh, let me talk about it. Let me talk about it. So if we want to make EMS more fun, right? How can we make it more fun and more engaging? Well, Prodad and Jasper came up with this great idea that maybe we could kind of tie in both firefighting and EMS, so it gives them more than just one dimension. Um, and after thinking about it more and more, it actually started to grow on me because maybe that is the perfect thing that medics need. Because I mean, EMS training is part of firefighting, so they do kind of work hand in hand a little bit. Um, yeah, see, exactly. So that's kind of what
So
we're looking to add. We've already been tooling with that, and we almost got that done, the idea of it. But that'll be something that you probably do see in the new city.
yeah, so I know they're not revealing a whole lot, guys, but let me reveal one thing. Jasper worked his ass off, and Jasper IRL is a person that is a firefighter. He does that IRL, and after messing with it and seeing how it works, there's a lot of cool stuff to it, and I do appreciate talking with Flip about it and trying to figure out ways to make EMS not such a snooze fest. And I hope that that will bring more to it than just going up and picking up bodies and being able to go fight fires as well. And um, I'll reveal a little bit. It looks pretty damn cool, and I've spent some time with it. And Jasper's worked hard on it, and Flip is definitely helping
I'm
to make
here.
sure it happens in Josh. So
Yep. Yeah, we want to make things more three-dimensional, not one-dimensional. I don't want to make things like just feel like a job shouldn't be just doing one thing. A job should be actually doing the small details that keep you busy. That, some of the best, like, I think I was having a conversation with somebody earlier, but some of the best RP happens organically when you're just grinding a job, doing something random, and somebody else comes up and you guys start conversating about whatever. And so I wanna have more of that where people come across each other and there's more just engagement. Yeah,
Yep.
maybe arson. Yeah. That could be a perfect reason to have a fire
shit, I
station
commit
and
arson
everything.
all the time, just no one knows it.
Xander, was that it? Was that the last question?
That was the last question I had on my list.
All right.
All right. So we will give very quick and brief opportunities for people to raise their hand and say something or ask a question that we have not already answered. Please keep them on topic. Don't, let's keep it like, but, so go ahead. If anyone has any questions, raise your hand.
Handy, not very quick. Let them talk. Know what I mean, bro? We're not in a rush, guys. This is important. So let's not rush them too much.
Noted. All right. Anyone?
Come on, man.
Here. Okay, so
As long as it doesn't go south.
this is all right, so obviously we know the owners of the other Limitless RP. The guy is extremely cool. He's telling us that we can keep the name. It's not a big deal. He doesn't care. Um, which is a really good gesture. And I will keep that in mind. Because I do like the name. It's a good name. I think everybody kind of likes it. It just feels like I'm stepping on his toes. But I'll have that discussion with him later. But for now, it looks like we'll stay locked in until further notice.
All right. Do we have our first or Flip? Are we
We
good?
got a
We can
couple
go
coming
in?
in.
All right.
So
Awesome. We're
everybody
gonna do,
think Big Bear Beast.
yeah.
Big Bear Beast TV.
Everyone
Big
in
Bear
chat, real
Beast.
quick. Tag Big Bear Beast. Give him some love.
Even if
for
we don't use
being a
the
good dude.
name, yeah, just
Absolutely.
for being
Much
a
appreciated.
cool ass guy.
He's got a huge peepee, so just tag him. Some love. All right, we're gonna bring in Buzz Lightyear from Weasel News.
Oh boy.
Buzz Lightyear with Weasel News.
Just keep in mind, whenever I give you the invite accept, it's going to be at the top of your screen. So just go ahead and click the accept. Got it figured out there, Buzz?
It might be a while.
All right, well,
Make sure your food doesn't run out.
Yeah, I know. Good.
let's give
Wizard.
give Mona an opportunity. Wait for Buzz here.
The lizards have gotten into the water supply.
Hit accept at the top.
Accept at the top, right above. There you go. They both
There
figured
we
it out.
go.
All right.
Okay,
So
hold
Buzz,
on,
go
one
ahead
at
and
a
go
time.
first. Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, guys. It's Cowboy. Flip, good hearing from you. Handy, thanks for everything you've been doing. Appreciate the new development. Jack, always good seeing you. You're always helping out. Quick question. Been in the city way too long since the
Yep.
beginning of goddamn time with all you guys. With the new people coming to the city, will we have more job opportunities like other, not your typical like mining, busing, but like other creative stuff like Amazon warehouse or banking job or something that effect?
Yep. I mean, yeah, you're right. That's kind of where I'm looking. It's just now how to we just tying those jobs into the actual the rest of the story. We want everything to work hand in hand. So it probably won't be something that's not really like some of our jobs right now, like hot dog vendor. Okay, well you can sell hot dogs.
Yeah.
A little boring. Then we
But
got
there's
like the
also
garbage guy who
there's
just
also
takes
things you can
garbage
do with
endlessly. Like
Yeah.
what?
No, I was gonna say there's also like things that you can do within the city that don't like need the job title, right? Like
Right.
Yeah.
we
There's a few.
we created a sub economy of people who would just mine resources for us at the mechanic shop, right? Like,
Yeah. Or
and
the or do the
that was
recycle
their job.
or do the
Yeah.
recycling center.
No,
Right.
no, I agree.
Ashlyn
Yeah.
has a design business. She doesn't technically need like a job title for it. Like it's a service she's providing on her own. Like something that
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
it continues to do it, we can like
Um,
there are things you can do within the city to create a job or a role for yourself without
yeah.
fully doing it. It's all about the RP, man. At the end of the day, right?
But no, but my basic question was, Andrew, is basically something new for like a new person coming right in the city, like some
Yep.
more options instead of the basic four, the bus, mining,
Yeah, yeah.
So-
yeah, for
garbage,
sure.
and something else, and
Definitely more.
taxi.
I
So
agree.
here's what's
100%.
important. Here's what's important to talk about when you hear him asking this question. It's important for everyone to hear right now is that these jobs that come in and these new people that come in, there's many times that we treat a new person like they're an alien. And we have to do what we can to embrace a new person who's giving the city a shot.
I don't
And
I
that's
don't
always the
know if
most
I
important
agree with
thing.
that completely. I do think I think you're
It
right.
happens,
I think you're
brother.
right. No, no, no. That does happen. Obviously, it happens in any city. That it doesn't
We
matter
want
if
that to
we had 10
Yeah,
people or 100 people. That's going to happen because you
That's
are
why
the
we need to
outsider.
give them a purpose. They have
No,
to have
but
a
I think
purpose.
I know. But listen, I think our community has understood that because we've expressed this a lot. So I think we're underestimating the fact that I think a lot of people in the city are helpful. The problem is we don't do a good enough job of engaging the player. So that's on our end. That's on our content end. That's me. I've been looking at it honestly. We don't engage people from the moment they step into the server.
Right.
That's where we need to do a better job. If we keep you engaged for the next 3 hours and we give you stuff to do right out the box, those people are going to come back tomorrow. But if they come into a city, they walk out of a door, there's nothing around them. What are they just like, okay, I guess I go get a car now. And they try to steal a car, then they get frustrated, then they leave. That's what happens. We got to have them
I
engaged from the moment they get in to the server.
Cowboy, anything else, brother?
No, that's it. That was one of the questions. So you could.
I'm
we
asking for a
can-
trucking job, an actual semi truck.
I agree.
Just saying.
A
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
logistics trucking job, yes. And
Yeah, I'm
we're
excited.
Yeah.
and that's
I'm
kind of what we
excited.
want to do because that would be part of the whole delivery idea, right? So you deliver
Absolutely.
to a specific point, whether that's the burger shop, whether that's vanilla unicorn, whether that's white widow, and it knows when you get there, these items go into this storage on each stop. So the truckers would actually go around and help you fill your stocks.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be red.
All right, Cowboy.
Uh,
Thanks, brother.
Thanks,
All
man.
right, no problem.
Appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
All right, Mona. What you got for us?
Yeah, Bryce, that's another important question. So yeah, we do want to go away from like having just like the city hall idea is kind of, I think it's kind of lame. So, and I know Josh doesn't like it either. We'd rather it be some like things that you may be able to do on your downtime too, as like a whitelisted job. So I don't know if we'll attach it to a job title. Yeah, it'll just be kind of walk in and find some way to make some money and
Side
survive.
hustles. Yeah. You got some free time, you wanna go mine some stuff?
Yeah, if
You
you're
don't have to
bored
give
and
up
there's
your
nothing to
regular
do.
job to do it.
Yeah.
Mona.
Mona.
We need trailers. All these drifty boys around Legion. They gotta go.
Don't worry, it's in the works. I got
Oh.
one.
Say less.
Say less.
That's
That's
it?
another.
That's what you
That's
hit it
another question. I have. Well, as right now, I have one 101. That's a truck. But hopefully, I just purchased another one. Do you need a hitch on your truck? I mean, in real life you do, but like,
Yes, you do.
because I believe the 2 trucks I have do not have hitches. So is that something that you guys could add to them?
Ooh,
That's a
that's
good
tricky.
idea.
So one thing about models is we don't always get to unlock the models themselves. The modeler will lock their artwork, and they don't want people to mess with it. So that is the tricky part. Trying to add stuff to a locked model is hard to do.
Okay, because all these drifty boys, they're getting out of hand.
And we love our
So
drifty boys.
okay,
We do.
so there's a couple RP standpoints of tow truck operators that could bring those vehicles out as well to help
Yeah, but
encourage.
a trailer is like, I don't know, a
Oh,
truck
for
Yeah,
trailer
no,
sure.
we
makes it
me and
so
Josh
much
have already
easier.
talked about that. We want to have it so it's like you put your race car on your trailer and you take it
It'd
to
be
the race
awesome.
course. You know,
Your
that's
drag car or your drift car, I think that would be sick.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then boat gas stations, because I got a boat, but I can't use it because motherfucker's always out of gas.
Yeah, but no, that's a good idea. We
Or at
haven't
least
we haven't
let me
done a
get
lot
a
of
trailer
focusing
for
on
my
boats
boat.
yet, but I definitely want to get boats and planes more involved.
I love me some good old boats, as long as I could fill them up.
All right, man.
But
Thanks, Mona.
I
Yeah,
think that's
appreciate you, brother.
it.
All right. We're
What
gonna
else we
bring
got?
in. Ooh, we got a few people. We're gonna bring in Rico Suave. For anyone that has, stage fright, we'll say, if you want to send me something to ask, go ahead. Feel free to do it now.
We already have that, Mike.
I know. Hey, Rico.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Rico?
What's up? Hey, I just want to say one, this is an amazing thing. I'm glad that everybody gets to start over, everything like that. So that's a plus right there. And then I really didn't have questions until I heard, everybody else asking, but I got a few, if you don't mind. It's like more than 3, but they're like yes or no questions.
Yeah, go for it. Fire them
All
off.
right. So I've been in one city before that there was an introduction mission. Like you literally see Trevor, and he's taking you around the city to show you different places. Like you have to follow the markings. Are we going to have something like that to show the new people what to do?
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's
Similar
kind
to
of the
the taxi
idea.
one I've
The
seen.
idea, yeah. There's also the taxi one too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure at some point me and Josh will definitely think of something really cool. Like, you know how you start GTA, you fire it up and you go right into the heist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of more along my thinking of just like getting you instantly involved, like action packed. Some shit's going down.
Okay. All right. So that was the first one. The second one is driving school. Are we going to bring that back, or are we just going to keep giving license out right away?
Yeah, I think we need to have driver school.
I always thought driving school was fun. It's always the same thing, but man, that shit was fun.
Well, I want to put an emphasis on maybe the driver school, the flying school, and even a boating school. So maybe it could be like a 3-for-1, a
That would
3-for.
be pretty cool.
Definitely cool.
Okay.
Great idea.
How about like mini games? So like like golf or tennis or something.
Yep.
Okay. Easy answer. Will it be easier to steal vehicles instead of holding them up at gunpoint? Like, because some people drive around with their cars unlocked, some people don't. So would there be like a random chance that somebody has their car unlocked to get in the vehicle?
A good question, Josh. I mean, we could design it to do something like that. We do need to talk about that one though. We really haven't discussed because we had. I'm not gonna lie, we had our problems with that damn script anyway. So
Okay.
we haven't really talked about anything in the future. But I'm sure that we could probably think of something more creative than sticking up heads for keys. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is a good comment, Rico, and that pissed off a lot of people in the city, and there was a lot of frustrated people.
Yeah.
Everybody understand that Flip worked his ass off trying to
But-
figure that shit out.
Yeah, it was also one of those things too where if I could have maybe just got Josh on the server for like 10 minutes, we could have fixed it a lot sooner. But it is what it is, and we got it fixed now. It's just yeah, that did piss off a lot of people, and I apologize for that.
Oh no, it's all good. I mean, if you have a gun, it's easy. But I mean, everybody else are kind of just getting hit by vehicles.
Yeah. No, we were more worried about you being able to get back into your car why you're being chased by the police. I think that was more of the concern at that
Oh
point.
yeah, how'd that go, Cage?
It didn't go well.
Probably worked out well for the police.
Yes.
Yeah, it really did work out for us. But yeah, I guess those were my only questions. So hey, I appreciate it, guys.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for your
no
time, man.
problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks,
Y'all have a good one.
Rico. Appreciate you, brother.
Topher.
Hi.
Yo.
So I believe Flip touched on this like a while, like probably like a week ago. But are we gonna be able to do multiple jobs, like instead of just having the one?
So one
I
of the things you just touched on is if you have a whitelisted job, a lot of the other like we'll call them global jobs, mining, trucking, things like that, you could do. If you're talking about multiple player businesses, I don't know that we've addressed that quite yet.
No.
Yeah,
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 I
we
think it
do
would
that.
be probably more like city services, which are their own thing. Then you have global jobs like what Xander just stated, where anybody you could just do that anytime. No big deal. And then you'd have your whitelisted jobs. So the whitelisted jobs would obviously be probably player ran businesses. So no, I wouldn't imagine you need to work at two different, like the mechanic and the car dealer.
Well, and keeping in mind, I think that's a great point. Is that the hope here is that the growth is so big that your one job becomes enough to handle, and not even having time to
Yeah, I
do
to make your
additional work.
jobs more expansive too, like I touched on earlier, to make them more than one dimensional, to give you something to actually keep you busy.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out because in head you can definitely work two jobs. So I was just seeing if that would be a possible thing.
Yeah, and I think some of the lesser quote unquote jobs will be kind of open concept anyway, and you won't have to go get a role for them. So
Yeah, I think we're going to be leaning towards a lot more global jobs, anyways.
Okay, and then so like with the hot dog stand type deal, is there going to be like indications where these would be, or is that RP to find out type of deal?
Yeah, they'd probably be stated.
Okay,
I would assume many global jobs will be on the map, so I don't think that should be really hardcore or anything hard to find out.
yeah,
all right. That's pretty much it that I can remember.
Yeah, food trucks is definitely an idea I like.
Oh yeah.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, wait,
Right.
Thanks.
Oh,
Is
Yeah.
guys.
the one thing is the drugs like gathering wise, is that going to get an overhaul or is that
Yeah,
going to stay
totally.
exactly the same?
No.
Okay, because yeah, some of that is
Total overhaul.
is okay. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
It's time.
There's definitely an emphasis on the
It's time,
next
Mr. Time.
is drugs because it is so even I'm gonna tell you, like, some of it's okay, but most of it's pretty lame at this point, and we just want to redo the whole damn thing. All right, who's next?
All right, who's next, Mr. Time?
Justin.
Hello, guys. Thank you
Well,
for letting me talk. I'm super excited for what's in store, but I just wanted to touch base on something Xander had said. When it comes to like issues in the city, how you said if things were like 911, you try immediately to fix it. Whereas if it's like a quality of life issue, you guys will kind of let it fester till a restart or something like that. And I feel like if more admins or the owners were in the city more often and actually RP'd some of these jobs that experience consistent issues, you guys would see how detrimental it is to like the city just functioning, because it
yeah,
sucks. It sucks when like my employees can't access boss menu for inventory to roll and do their job, or like when Lux sells me a car and I'm like way up in West Bubblefuck with said car, and then I get charged for another car he tried to sell someone who's still at Lux. Like things like that happen on a daily basis, and those aren't really like the 911 issues you guys are talking about, but that's stuff that makes a lot of people salty, you
yeah.
know?
We're
Yeah,
we're
that's all
definitely
because
working
that's
on.
all stuff that Josh is definitely is going to and can fix, and it will be before this even comes out. We know what's pissing people off. Trust me.
And as
And
far
some
as
of them are more complicated issues than they seem. It seems like it could be a simple fix. Well,
Definitely.
it's not
sure, I
always
get that.
simple,
Well,
but regardless, yeah, we definitely understand. Like, there's some cleaning up, but we'll definitely get it.
the good news, some of the good news is we are going to do 2 restarts, I believe. Is that right, Flip?
Well, the biggest difference is we're on a dedicated box that's really
Yeah.
fast. So like
Well, and keep
it's
in mind,
definitely gonna
Justin,
feel smoother
keep
than
in mind,
it
Justin, that the
feels.
things that you mentioned, there's some of those things that are probably leaning towards why this move is happening in the first place is
Yeah.
ways to be able to come out of the gates with everything running with
With
less
everything
interruption.
updated, because
Exactly.
Josh has
Exactly.
we've made a lot of changes on the framework in the last 6 months, man. So like, while
Well,
I try to keep everything as updated as possible, it just doesn't behave like it's supposed to sometimes. I don't know, but regardless, we wanted a new box, so it's the perfect time to do everything.
Yep. And then once we get into play, guys, like a lot of us admins are really excited to come in. I mean, even Flips mentioned coming into RP if possible. We just need to like really get, you know, the structure there so we can actually come in and spend some time in the city and not just be
Hmm.
grinding all the time. So we
Yeah.
will be there for sure.
With
We'll be around.
So the development itself will be more stable, because we have Josh here. It'll be that simple. I guess I don't really I don't want to overstate it, but like I'm probably gonna take kind of more of a backseat of just like actually running and managing the city, and I can help him with development when he needs help, but why get in the way type of thing. Only one person can be in a box. So I'm probably going to be looking more at RP role and more of like managing the community and thinking of fun things to do, like I used to when I had more time. So that's kind of the changes, I guess, as far as the way we're probably going to manage and run things here.
All right, that's pretty much it.
Thanks for the
Yep.
question, man.
thanks.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, brother.
Yep, thank you, thank you.
Christian.
Oh, here comes the big man.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? First of all, I want to thank you guys for doing this meeting because when I first read all the other stuff, I kind of wasn't feeling it since we already did a city restart.
Yeah.
But now that you guys definitely explained it, it's a lot better. My question is, I've been in the city for a very long time now, and this was the first time that I even played a 5M server or anything like that, or even Grand Theft Auto Online. My thing was that when I first got into the server, there was no way of me getting into, I want to say, like the higher up community.
Yeah.
So basically what I had to do was I done jobs like security, I did murder for hire, like anything you can name of to try to get money. My thing is that the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. How do we go about, because I experienced it myself and I actually done it myself, to keep it away from favoritism in the server towards other people and actually give everybody a fair chance to either own a certain business or own a certain thing, or be able to have a certain thing that they want? Because I sometimes see it a lot, and I'm guilty of it myself, that I'm gonna give it to this guy because I know him, or this and that. How do we go about creating like a better balance for everybody to be able to eat? Because there's a lot of people that like play, but they're quiet to themselves. They don't really engage that much with other people, and then that's when they miss out on a lot.
Yeah.
That's fair. Fair question.
Well, I guess this is kind of where it is. Like, unfortunately, like every economy, there is going to be rich. And while I understand the whole favoritism thing, hopefully that doesn't happen. Um,
Again.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but by any means. But I mean, that's kind of what I'm big on. I try to make everything feel like the community can be involved in, and any average Joe Schmo could own something. And maybe we have to look at the system again, and we need to come up with a better idea, and that's fine. But I definitely want everybody to have a chance. I want the best person to run that business. I don't want
And
somebody
that's
to
yeah.
take the business that doesn't even have the time to run the business. Like, yeah, I know some of the admins on the team might have ownership of something. But I hope that they're also really, really RPing and trying to stay active and maintain those, because I don't want my admins to run everything. That's definitely not what I'm going for here. I do understand that sometimes people that own important departments and stuff, they seem to end up eventually becoming an admin. I think that's more so like just maturity, trust, and other things along the way. And I don't think it's purposeful. But I do understand how can be perceived by the community. Um, but I try to make things as fair as I can. And like I said, I'm open to ideas. If people have better ideas of how to go about auctioning and how to do business proposals and stuff of that nature, I'm all ears.
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that real quick. I mean, that's one of the reasons we started doing the blind auctions because it's not just about who has the most money, it's who's gonna put forth the effort and the plan into running the business, you know? Because I can tell you a lot of the times we've done the auction, it's not the biggest number that wins.
Yeah,
It's
we
who
kind of
put
look at your business plan ideas. Yeah.
it's who put forth the effort and has the best plan. So in that regard, you know, it's not just about, you know, the rich staying rich, you know, come ready to play and we'll give you a chance at bat, you know what I mean?
But I do think where we need to and where we're going to make our biggest adjustment is for the workers, right? We don't want the workers to be starving and the owners the one that's rich. We want it to be a fair balance where the worker, depending on how well he's working, can make as much as the owner, because that's the way that the world should work. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely want to put more of an emphasis on like performance based bonuses and stuff.
Socialized democracy, baby.
So
Get
that's
it
why the
here.
whole job progression thing is something that I'm leaning towards wanting to get done as soon as possible, so that it gives you more of a, I guess, an advantage or just something to do. If you're really
yeah,
good at flipping hamburgers, then you should make as much as the manager.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and I think it's a great question, Christian. And I think the other piece, though, is that we're going to do what we can to make the jobs have more purpose behind them as well, to give a lot more incentive to want to go out and get those as well. But Xander nailed it. And honestly, if I recall, Xander is the one that put together just an incredible way of doing it to where they have to put in work, man. They have to put in a story. They have to put in a backstory of why they want to own this business and what they're going to do with it, and not just I'm the richest, so I get it. It's not how it is. And I think it's an incredible way to make people have a creative mind instead of just I have the most money.
And yeah, and so, to be fair, some of that stuff you guys don't get to see, so I can see how it's definitely perceived. But um, I don't, like I said, like I'm the type of person I'll call you out on your bullshit. I expect the same. If you think I'm bullshit, call me out on it. Like so, we try our best to be fair. Like obviously, I want you guys to play here, have fun, and feel a part of the community, whether you're the poorest person in the city or you're the richest person in the city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I'm
you
sure
guys,
everyone that knows me in the city knows that if I have to say something to somebody, I'll say it.
yeah,
The other
absolutely,
question I do have, sorry to interrupt you, is
very good.
I noticed that basically, like when I do fly into the city, everyone's hovering around in the same area. So my thing is that like when I do, because I bought a house up in Paleto Bay, I don't really see anything going on up there, like anything that or maybe I just haven't found it. Is there more plans for the
Yeah,
top of the map?
We
yeah,
definitely want to
we definitely want to spread things. That we want to make it like not really spread out necessarily to
Mm-hmm.
the point where nobody
reasons
gets to see
to go
anybody.
places.
But
But
yeah,
part of the thing you're talking about is everyone just kind of standing around as a product of our economy not being or being inflated, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
has to go around and do everything. Everyone is just standing
yeah.
around kind of hanging out, right?
I mean, like what I
But
told people is like I'm basically flying in to change the color of my car and just showing it off to somebody.
right.
Yeah,
A-
yeah, definitely.
and that can't be fun. Like you guys have all this stuff and there's no reason to show it off. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're at with this. And I had to make peace with the fact that sooner than later, we're gonna have to wipe this thing and get something better.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. That was
All
both
right,
my
man.
questions.
No, appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Anybody
Bye.
else?
Mr. Marinara,
Oh, hello, cuties. It's
how you
been a
doing?
while.
It has been
I've been doing all right, man. Working my ass off in real life, but
good.
been getting the itch to fucking come in RP again. And I really like this idea that you guys got going on. I know I've given some people some shit over the years, but it's only out of concern and care for everything that you guys have built here. I just got a couple items. I was actually writing them down on a sticky note while everyone was talking. Some just random, some don't have a whole lot of what is it, thesis to it. Some have a little bit more, but I'll just start at the top of my list. So one thing while we were all like randomly spurting things out in the chat here was I know you said you guys are gonna redo drugs, and I know you guys are gonna have to
Yeah.
do RP to find out stuff for that. But dude, it would be so cool to grow magic mushrooms. Like, no one report me here, but I grow magic mushrooms in real
RP to
life.
find out, bro.
Yeah, RP to find out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be a great idea. I
RP to
think,
find
like,
out.
Yeah.
how we can grow weed in our houses and everything like that in the old system.
Well, what
Like
about outside?
that too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That would
I
be cool
mean,
as well.
yeah. So we're
Um,
definitely looking at all of it. Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of cool ideas.
okay. And then the second item on the list was gang limited crafting. Now,
Yep.
I've seen this in a couple
We're already
cities.
looking at it. I already know where you're
Okay.
going.
Yeah.
We're already
Cool.
Gang meeting. See you at gang meeting.
Okay.
Gang progress. We want to see gang progression where actual gang. All right. So let me give you a little bit without too much. I want gangs to progress by doing things together, or maybe Johnny's off by himself, right? And he robs a bank successfully. Well, maybe that helps the gang slightly. But then Jimmy or Johnny gets arrested and he's not even with the gang. So when the gang gets back on, they're like, "Why is our progression gone down?" We want to make it so it's like there's something that rewards you for doing good gang shit, successful gang stuff, and it punishes you for getting arrested and doing bad gang stuff. So
Okay.
that way, through the progression, you might get new items,
Yeah.
maybe a new hideout.
Okay. I like that.
Yes, sir.
I just had some ideas. Tell me if they're stupid or tell me they're not. But you guys all remember the GTA mission where the actual game where they had you steal or rob a tac team to get the rifles. Now, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm on the game crafting thing. I was thinking, if you put in like really, really rare, like maybe once or twice a day spawns of those NPC tac teams that, came out with like M4s and tried to kill you before you killed them and take their stuff in their trucks. What if those materials were used to craft those gang limited items? I mean, I know you guys can't confirm or deny anything because you guys, are obviously trying to RP to find out for all this stuff, so I get it. But I'm just throwing that in there. You could do springs from recycling for the springs for the guns. You could get iron to craft the billeted frames from mining and smelting. Like, you could really put together a whole economy in which different players and different jobs have to provide the different parts that gangs need to craft items, or just anyone needs to
Right.
craft items. I think that would be an awesome system, very MMO like, and I feel like since we're already moving that direction a little bit, like, if that was a good idea, consider it.
That's definitely actually an idea. Um, I want to put more of an emphasis on the whole crafting thing. Like you
Yeah,
can, and I don't want, like I said, I don't want to give up too much, but yeah, I definitely think crafting and something sophisticated, something complex, um, will carry that kind of end game for some people. And maybe that'll help them RP better. But I definitely think guns should be built.
yeah,
Um, I think labs should be built.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And then something that Cass actually brought up while we were all chatting is a farming job would be really cool. Like one where we actually went and grew corn or watermelons or whatever, lettuce, whatever the hell it was. And then we sold that stuff to restaurants or gas stations and
Yeah,
were able to like, make actual profit by stimulating the economy. That'd be really
Jasper
awesome.
already had this idea. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so we kind of thought about that, and I was trying to think about implementing. That's a great idea. We could use it for like lettuce and supplying other things at certain places.
Okay. And then I was also gonna bring up possible like crim related jobs, like jobs that were relate to specifically criminals. Like if someone's a criminal and they go to a specific place, or maybe they need to figure out where this place is through RP, or they can only figure it out, doing that or whatever. And they locate a fence, and the fence says, "Hey, man, I'll buy your stolen goods. I'll buy your or I'll offer you contracts for hitman jobs where you go around and you assassinate pets or something like that. Something of that nature would be really cool. And I haven't seen it in many cities before, but like actual like crim like open world jobs, like a job involving you being a criminal and doing something like that other than drugs, because drugs is really the only crim job that I ever see other than like robbing a bank.
I mean, yeah, maybe that. I mean, I like the idea, like where you could look at. say you looked at a sign or something and you can interact, and then maybe
There
10
could
minutes
be
later
some
you get a
master
phone call,
limitations
Yeah,
just a
from
mystery
a
exactly.
phone
pet
call, and then
standpoint.
yeah, it could just be like a random, just a random things that kind of happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a
that's
cool idea.
that's what I was speaking about. And then RICO cases. I know that every time this gets brought up, Jack always talks a lot about
Yes.
it. But I want to see RICO cases. I
Yeah,
feel like
that'd be
Yes.
cool.
the
Yes.
rise and fall of people in the city, how we balance out that wealth and economy, is by successfully. Because let's be real, the people that are stacking bread are in criminal enterprise. Establish RICO cases and take them down. Loot their shit. Take it away from them. They weren't careful. They didn't hide it ahead of time. Sucks for them. It is what it is. I want RICO cases.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
we definitely agree with you on that too.
That just it'd just be
We want
huge.
Rico cases too, and we planned on doing Rico cases. It just hasn't happened yet, and some of it's our player base, some of it's script limited, but
Yeah.
we definitely want Rico cases. That would be awesome to be able to
Okay, cool.
have that.
Yeah, I
And
raided one house in my career.
Yeah, well, we need
that's
to
what
rate
I mean.
more.
Is like you
Yeah.
never get to actually do it, but they're so freaking cool. You know what I
That
mean? It's
was
so
a lot of
cool.
fun.
It
Bill
was a lot of
Green
fun.
versus
Bill Green, it was so fun. It was
All
so
right.
fun.
Yeah. Any other
Yeah,
questions, Mike?
I was just gonna mention like one other thing. I know you talked about fixing crypto, but inside the GTA files already is a stock market. That might be
Yeah.
something you also consider integrating. You know?
I have at one point. Um,
Okay.
it's just we were battling the exploits of crypto, so I wasn't going to add something else that was exploitable.
Right, right, right. I mean, when it's all said and done, obviously, work through on a
Yeah.
test server. I'd be happy to help you guys test. I mean, I work a lot, but I'm very happy to help you guys, test and see if I can exploit the fuck out of some things. I'm a good bug
Yeah, I
tester.
mean, we definitely want to build a market around crypto, and a stock economy would be cool, but it's just
Yeah,
something that actually
and
has
then
the value, carries the value of the things in our city.
yeah, absolutely. One other thing I really wanted to bring up real quick here, I don't want to take up too much time, is common areas. I feel like in our city there can be a lot of spread outness when people are off doing their own things, and we used to have kind of like a common area at like the auto shops, and then the auto shops all switch locations. It would be really nice if we had like a common area that was really nice atmosphere, really nice serene, and like you could just like if you didn't really feel like having going and grinding a job, or you just wanted to
Yeah.
form connections or something like that, a common area would be great. And I
The
just
hope
I
is
go
with
ahead.
a larger pop on the way, there'll be plenty of common areas, man. That's
Yeah.
the hope.
Okay.
But there's plenty of spaces in the city too. Feel free to start a
Yeah,
common area.
we
You want to start hanging out
we
at the
got all
weekend
kinds of new
or
places
absolutely. It's
that are coming in,
Cool.
and so the
some of
map
the
is
some of the
yeah,
content coming in that honestly that might breed common areas.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I
yeah,
know
that's
once
true.
we start advertising, and part of it was population itself. So once you
Yeah,
guys start advertising, it'll hopefully fill itself out.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
la- Last thing I wanted to touch on here was just a little bit like more to touch on the crafting bit.
Mhm.
In crafting, especially MMOs, I pulled many of my ideas. I've been playing the fuck out of New World lately, so forgive me if I'm kind of like copycatting them a little bit. But during crafting, I think it would be really cool if you had the opportunity to create maybe a unique weapon part, or a unique car part, or a unique this or that, or you had a chance to double craft an item if you were a high enough level
Yes.
crafter.
Yep.
And those items could then be taken to, say, a shop, and then the shop could apply like a 2% speed boost on your car. And those items would obviously be super rare and limited to crafting and interacting with each other. But that would give people, I feel like people would be more open to the idea that if I work really hard, I can get, a little bit more than what someone else might have. And that would, breed competition and make people do those things.
Do you have
Yeah, I
access
actually
to
like that
Snapchat?
idea. That's a really good idea.
Just,
Man's killing it. You're
maybe
just nailing it.
maybe like you've got like, I don't know, like a faster trigger or whatever the hell, like a gas blowback system that you can install on your MP5 that your gang makes, right? Well,
Mhm.
that specific MP5, if you can signify or like single out that entity and make it so that single entity can shoot bullets like a little bit faster or do a little bit more damage, and like really create some uniqueness out of crafting. I
hollow
feel like
points or something.
yeah, something like that. That would
Yeah.
really, really, really help and like push people to do that crafting and stuff like that.
I agree. I like the idea. We'll talk about it. I guess me and Josh will talk more about it. But yeah, I like the whole adding some kind of uniqueness to everything. A chance to get something you normally wouldn't get, type of
Yeah,
thing.
like when you're
A
harvesting weed,
modification.
you get a chance to get some chronic, and that creates a top shelf weed, which can create top shelf joints, which maybe give you a little bit more armor than like a regular joint. You know what I'm saying? Like just the chance to get rare items and harvesting or crafting in general would be awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I really have, guys. Thanks for listening.
Appreciate it,
Uh,
man.
I
Thanks, bro.
yeah,
A lot of
take
good
care.
ideas as usual. Thanks.
Yep.
Rico, welcome back.
Yeah. All right.
I
I
think
thought of
everybody.
more
I mean,
questions.
nobody has to stay here. I mean, we've pretty much talked about what we wanted to talk about. So if you want to go, you can go. If you want to hang out and ask questions, you can. Though.
All right. So I thought of a few more. I know you said something about people owning businesses like VU and PDM and stuff like that. What about owning gas stations?
I mean, I personally like the idea. I've thought about it before, having player-owned shops, but it just depends. It depends on our player count. We're not going to put ourselves in a position where we go too player-based because then nobody will be able to complete the jobs.
Okay.
But once we get the player pop, then we can start to look at going away from automation on some things and maybe inserting players to let them have their spot. Because eventually we'll run out of business ideas, and not that we run out of ideas, but there is a stopping point. So we got to try to think of that balance. But hopefully we come up with a better balance for the middle class and the poor class, so you guys actually don't feel just like you're suffering and it's not so
Okay.
brutal.
All right. So this may be some tricky script, but how would y'all feel about random armored trucks
I
that we could
I
rob?
love the idea of crafting.
I think that would be something that would be pretty badass because we'd have the random trucks going around and people trying to rob them, and then the cops always have something to do if someone's trying to rob them.
It'd
Wait,
be
Yeah.
crazy if there
don't
was
we already
something like
have
that
that?
already in city, but people just did never find it. Huh?
Well,
Oh.
Wink,
Interesting.
wink, wink,
no,
wink.
but I think I know what he's saying. So like to be able to like it would be pretty cool if you were able to craft if you were a really high level and you were really good at it. Wink, wink. Then maybe you could fucking craft some bulletproof and stuff and some Kevlar, and maybe you could do some modifications that other players wouldn't be able to do unless they were as high level as you.
Okay. Now back to like the mini games and stuff. I've seen like a few scripts for like go karts and go kart tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
What do y'all feel about that?
RP to
Yeah,
find out.
we love go karts, so
It's a
that's
must.
probably coming. Yeah,
It's a must.
That's
After
coming.
doing
Alright.
drifting, and if we did go-kart racing on that drift track, we'd have so much goddamn fun.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
Maybe bowling, maybe golfing, maybe billiards, darts. Maybe we'll have some go kart racing,
Maybe there'll be an
um,
arcade.
arcade,
Paintball,
motocross,
so
Sky-
okay.
paintball, laser tag.
This is a
Just a
good
couple
time.
ideas.
This is a good time to mention this. Okay, there's a lot of people out there, and understanding that one of the biggest things for these cities for us to have success is create weekly things that we can do. So if there's something that somebody's extremely passionate about and they want to own it and make it a weekly occurrence, like a drag race or like go-karts, and that's what they want to own, come forward. We need people who are passionate about it to be able to really drive home a weekly thing. Like on Saturdays, it's go-kart race or whatever. So keep
Okay.
that in mind. We are always looking for people who want to dedicate their time. And on an admin staff, you guys know every one of us will do anything for you. We'll spawn whatever you need to do if you have an event. I did the drifting and I did a bracket and I had fun with it. We had some growing pains, but I just want people to, if it's something they're passionate about, don't hesitate to reach out and say that you want to make a weekly thing of XYZ. boxing. Our biggest events was boxing. We had like 60 people when boxing was flying off the handle. So
Okay. All right. Now this is a really big one. I don't know if it can be done, but I'm really interested in it. All right. Since the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto came out, would y'all be able to do like Vice City or Liberty City as a plane flight away?
Yes, we could. I don't know if we were going to, but we could do that. Yeah.
Okay, because I know probably a lot of people would definitely be down to see Vice City again. And I feel like we could definitely do a lot more drug stuff in Vice City.
Yeah, the problem is that we're at the like me and Josh aren't building maps like that, you know? So like we're at the mercy of map builders, so to
Oh, for
speak.
sure.
Sometimes that stuff just isn't ready. Like I've seen some of those cool things, like what was it, New York City or whatever, but it had a lot of issues. Yeah, and
Gotcha.
that's too loading in big masses of land and stuff like that. It will take some of the performance away, and we're always going to be big on performance.
Okay. All right. And then I guess like y'all were trying to come up with other names or whatever. How do y'all feel about Backbone RP?
Backbone RP.
we won't be able to do that on here, man. It's gonna be too difficult
Oh,
as
to do
far
the
as names.
yeah, just keep. I mean, just maybe I'll start a thread for names, and then you guys can just pop in some names, and we could just keep going at it. Like I said, I do like Limitless. Big
I might,
Bears being cool.
might have to go with
Uh,
Windbone.
I
Yeah.
haven't made up my mind, but
All right,
Okay.
we got five other people
yeah,
too,
let's
man. We
go.
gotta get it
All right.
rolling.
Just my
Wait,
last
what?
question.
Let him
Is
talk,
this
Jack.
being recorded so other people who are not live right now can actually
No, we're not
listen
that
in?
smart. We're not that
No,
smart.
Yes.
no, everyone's
No,
talking.
no. It is being recorded.
Okay.
I'm the smart
Oh,
one of this
the
bunch.
police.
Okay.
So dead.
Talk more.
I'm the smart one of this bunch, and I talked to my
Jack wants your
stepbrother,
views.
my
Jack wants your
stepbrother,
views.
and he's recording it for me. So,
Okay.
Shout out Dan
so
Breakfast.
Mr.
Shout out
Love you, Dan.
shout
Eggs
out
and Bakey or
Breakfast, the
whatever it is.
only smart one in here that's
Love you, Dan.
recording it. Love you,
All
brother.
right.
All right, man.
Hey,
Appreciate
Thanks,
you again,
Rico.
Rico.
yeah, for sure.
Don't come back.
If he
Cass.
messages
Hello.
me and tells me that he's not, I'm gonna be mad at him. I will hit him with a pipe wrench.
All right, who's
All right.
next?
Kasaya.
Hi.
Yo.
Is recycling gonna change? Is there
Yeah,
like
it's lame. I don't
it's
like
been
recycling.
around?
I
You
think
know?
I think we could come up with something a lot more creative than recycling. I don't want everybody just to be standing at a site like recycling and like this is
I've had
fun.
some good times in recycling,
I
man.
get it. I get it.
Honestly,
I know that sometimes the interaction, but hopefully we
it's
could
great.
build new interactions that are more that you
More
can still
dynamic.
meet people and
Shut
yeah,
the
it's
fuck
not
up,
just
Xander.
like standing in one spot just collecting scrap metal the whole day. I feel like people that want to get scrap metal would be like a mechanic. Like that would be important to him. I don't know. I just want to change the emphasis on those harvesting jobs a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I like doing recycling.
I get it, but do you really want to come back to the same city again and do the same jobs? I think it's time for some new, more dynamic stuff. And I'm not saying that they might not be there at
Places
release,
enough.
but hopefully soon there we have new jobs.
Like, what if instead of all those materials you get at one place, you like go to different places to find that specific material?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Like, if I'm
You
going
could
to get
harvest
parts from a
materials at
mechanic
different
shop,
locations with
I
a
should have
higher
to go to
percentage type
sources.
deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was always the biggest plight when I needed scrap and plastic, but I end up with a ton of, iron and steel, right? It's like, shit, this isn't what I need. No,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Anything else?
With the crafting, is there gonna be like an actual progression bar, like kind of like leveling up with it, or like is it gonna stay the same?
No, we're going to change it. It's really plain right now. It's
Mhm.
been one of my biggest focuses. I just never had the time to get to it and rebuild it.
I think it'd be cool if there was like a leveling system in the crafting to show you like, oh, you're level 3 now.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's what people like to see, right? They like to see
Definitely a
pretty
good
little
idea.
things with
It's not
across
set
the
in stone,
screen.
but
Say, level 3 and confetti flies in your face. Yeah, I know. I think we'll definitely do a better job of designing too. Because I mean,
Yeah,
that's realistically what it is. It's good design with good functionality. That's all we're doing here. So
yeah, that was what I was wondering about. That's all.
Heard. Well, thanks,
thank
Cass.
you.
Yes.
thank
Topher,
you.
welcome back. What can we do for you?
Hey, all right. So it's like probably like 2 to 3 things, but 3 of them can be summed up into one. But what about? So you guys were talking about like doing RICO cases and or whatever. Is there a way to get like let's say like a hidden storage locker that we could buy that the government wouldn't know, and then or a
Yes.
warehouse type of deal to where we wouldn't the gangs wouldn't could have kind of a safeguard, you know?
Yes. All
Ask real
things that
estate
are coming
city.
with time. RP to find out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what about getting like a drone systems for like the what's it called? So like for like drift events, so that the spectators can actually watch and see what's going on instead of just standing at the start line and just waiting to see the time of the finished person.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. We've thought about
That is a great idea.
doing
I
some kind
know.
of even spectator mode, and I think if they were able, if you were in spectator mode, like say I'm eating dinner right now and I'm not RPing or anything, so I just go into spectator mode, see what else is happening.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't,
cool.
but the problem with that is obviously people will use that to their advantage. So, but it has been an idea, but I do like that drone idea because it would kind of give us that same feel,
That's a great
like
idea, and
where
I
we can
think
get another vantage point or be it, especially for our events and stuff. That would be awesome to be able to so people could actually see it from a different point of view.
yeah, our main man Score is listening in as well, and he just reminded me that he had considered building a watchtower as well to give kind of a bird's eye view of drifting. So
Or
yeah,
yeah,
there's a few ways we can go about it.
or you could even do like some weird big screen and then maybe have like if a coordinator is there
Mhm.
designated coordinator can like throw like a GoPro on like the side of the car or the side of the person or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Weasel News should have more stuff, and that would be one of them to have like a drone that they can actually get more action footage if they can drive it. So I think that would be something that would add to their job too.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That's it that I can think of right now. All
All right, my man.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it again.
right, thanks for your time.
3 strikes and you're out.
Dakota.
Yo, so I kind of joined a little late. I hate to say that. I was just wanting like a real quick. I got a couple of things I want to say too, but I just want a real quick rundown of like what happened or what's going on, if y'all don't mind.
Well, the quick and dirty was outlined in the community announcement from earlier. But basically, we're wiping, restarting, getting a dedicated box with an effort to increase performance and start with a blank canvas to allow for a larger player base as we start to advertise.
All right, all right. So a couple questions. One, does that mean we're pretty much everyone's starting as a brand new? Like, there's no giving back money, no giving back cars, unless of course they were donators.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Okay.
starts with
And one of the things I wanted to ask, so I don't remember who it was earlier was talking about like criminal jobs. I'm literally looking at the screen of Payday 2 right now. I've been playing it a lot. And I think like, jobs like, on here, like on like Payday style jobs would be awesome if that was a thing.
Not
So
as
for the
familiar, but
for the
Yeah.
people that don't play it, can you give us just like a general synopsis of what that is?
like heists and
So
stuff.
yeah, like heists, like
Yeah,
bigger heists, not just like, trying to think of like so Payday 2, pretty much you go through, you can select different jobs, There's the crime net. You know, you can go online and find like jobs you want to do if you're not doing the story mode, of course, and you can just go do them. And you get paid for them pretty much. So I was thinking maybe there'd be like we can have like an internet system on our phones where we can go to like an encrypted website and bid on a job or whatever, get a job and go do that job and then get paid for it.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah,
Really cool idea.
that is a
Um,
good way to use heist.
yeah, so maybe
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas for that. And I have some actually that I'm holding off on, but I like the idea of implementing that way. It's pretty cool.
Right, like or like if it was a bidding job, like say they each had a time limit on the bid, and you do like X amount of the pay cut you'll take, stuff like that.
Right.
Well, and I think a good call out too is that I know there's already been a lot of work put in without disclosing too much, but there's already a lot of work put in. There's a lot of stuff in that people don't know about that's far separated from your standard run of the mill bank robbery. So, I do know there's already things in place that I'm sure are going to carry over um,
Right.
that people have to RP to
Maybe.
find, but there's definitely a lot of those styles that you can go to a person and need to go do a job. It
Well,
just
what
doesn't
he's
include the
saying
phone
is
as
there's
much.
heists currently, but the heists currently, while might have been supposed to be cool, they're not that cool. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
So
I
we
love
could do
the
better.
idea. I love the idea. I actually, in terms of, I'm just thinking gang activities. I really love the idea of maybe gangs, all kind of bidding on a job like that, and then the winner gets the opportunity, and it shows up every on your phone. Maybe it's a ping or something every however long we decide to put it. But
Right.
you're making us think either way, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Right. Also, one more thing. Let's be the last thing. I feel like I've been in the city since like I think April. So I mean, I haven't been here, as long as a lot of people, but I feel like the city is too based around Legion Square. Of course, you do have places, that are like points of interest that aren't on Legion, but I feel like the main place you're gonna find everyone is typically around Legion. Like, you fly in, you're pretty much the first place you're gonna want to drive to see anyone is Legion. I feel like if there's a way that we could expand, like having big, like different communities, like Sandy Shores needs to be more populated, and I know that's going to come with more of a player base, but like having bigger stores up that way, or up in Polito having bigger stores, because
Just
I
general
mean,
reasons to
say
go to those places is what you're talking about, right?
The community
yeah, so
clubhouses.
unless I'm going to go up to Polito to rob a bank, and the only reason I'm going to go up there is because I'm greedy and I think the police won't get there in time, or I'm going to go up there to take someone out, and then there's shots fired up there that y'all can't reach in time. I
Right.
mean,
We
There are
Let
definitely
me
want
give
we
you a
definitely want
cooler
to make it a
idea.
point to
Let me
spread
give
things
you a
out.
cooler idea. So, what about like community clubhouses that are stationed in 4 or 5 different areas on the map that gives you a different spot, a place to hang out with your friends and watch TV, a place where food trucks roll up and cater to the people that are there at those times.
that would be
Maybe something that's more just not so static.
yeah. Because I mean, being right there, everyone's garages is it's either Caesars, San Andreas, Pillbox, or the one just north of Pillbox Park or Pillbox. And so all four of those are within a couple blocks of Legion. So I feel like just spreading out stuff. Having another hospital up north, or you as the player progression goes, the more we get, having a Blaine County Sheriff's Department, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely. We would definitely want more of that. We just haven't had the players, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like just to have places where people can engage with the community and it doesn't have to be the same location. Just allow more access to players where they can do things like play billiards together or throw darts.
yeah,
Um like a clubhouse. That's why I was thinking like it's just a place where you could do small activities and just hang out and socialize.
Right. So that's all I wanted to, you know.
Thanks,
I
Dakota.
appreciate
Appreciate it,
it,
brother.
y'all take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Have a good
Yep.
night.
Later, man.
Thanks, homie.
Boner.
The
How you doing?
spades.
I just a couple things. I think we've already done this one before. But that's kind of like player population, you know. Um, since we have like two food places and gas station, there's like nobody working there pretty much, and gas stations have all the food too. I know we've already done that before, but when there's more people in city, we could get rid of food and gas stations and give more business to those food stores.
Absolutely.
Same page, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on it.
I
And
mean, I'm
we
guilty
got
of
to
it
find
too.
that
Like I buy food at gas stations because there's nobody online
right. It's got to be that
at
sweet
Burger
spot,
Shot or
right? We don't
whatever.
want people dying on us
Yeah,
because there's
and
no
so
vendors, but maybe it's available
Maybe
at the
the
gas station,
balance, maybe
but
the
it's more
balance of gas
expensive,
station food
right?
compared to getting a burger from the burger shot's different.
yeah,
Maybe there's more of a reason, maybe something that prevents hunger for the next hour, something like that. We want to make the pizza, whatever places or restaurants we have, we want to make them more unique.
yeah. I
We
mean,
would
that's
want to go there.
player population too, because you can't do that when there's 15 people on and
Well,
cancel
maybe we can
food
keep
or whatever.
both. We just make one just a lot better, and that makes it a lot more. You're gonna want to
Yeah,
go grab a burger instead of 10 sandwiches. Like
yeah.
type of deal. I'm not saying it would be
Um,
like that, but
Another thing is maybe when you like steal a car, it won't despawn when you're trying to do like a robbery, instead of using your own car, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Because I definitely, if I say I'm a getaway driver, which I'm definitely not because I suck at driving, I wouldn't want to use my own car because, it gets depoted and possibility of not getting it back again.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you steal a local car and then maybe hide it somewhere so it doesn't despawn. Then you can just, split up and
Stash
take your
vehicles, yada
yeah.
yada. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that would just have to do with us looking at those vehicle keys,
Yeah.
hmm
Definitely will lead to good
so that you
RP.
could, so it would give you ownership of
Yeah.
that vehicle, so it stays.
Yeah, and that would, lead to more planning out your robberies instead of just, chasing somebody for 15 minutes and then
Right.
waiting
Yeah, I
for
get.
them to hopefully crash and then end up in a shootout.
Yeah, I definitely want people to have bait cars, getaway cars, be able to have
Yeah.
those kinds of plans made because that's good RP. So yeah, we'll look at fixing that as well. So if you steal an NPC car, at least until I don't know, maybe you drop the keys, you have it,
Those things definitely
and it
vanish.
doesn't disappear.
Those are the only things I could think of.
Okay.
Appreciate it, man. Great ideas.
Thanks,
Andy
brother.
J is tired. It's past his bedtime.
Yeah, dude. It is. It is. All
Got a
right.
All right,
couple of
We got.
invites out to people with their hands raised. Okay, here we go.
got all
Mona,
right,
welcome back.
Mona.
So I was been contemplating like starting up some type of drag race, but having it up north at the I forget what airport
Airfield.
that is. Yeah,
Yeah,
at the airfield, not the one that's all the way north, the one that's in between.
the sandy one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think that would also bring a lot more people,
To those parts of the
cause
map.
yeah, to that part of the map, and it would create like more of a like a state trooper type of police onto the highway as a Sandy Shores police, because there's gonna be a
Mhm.
lot more drag races up there, and if we implement trailers, you guys could also like be like, hey, drag cars are for the drag strip, not the street. And if we catch you on the street, we're gonna give you a ticket and such. You know what I'm saying?
Be
Right, right,
honest.
right.
Did you concoct this so you can bring up trailers again?
No, no, like
I'm just kidding.
I legitimately want like when think it was Frank when Frank had the drag racing. I'm all
Mhm.
about drag racing. Like I'll host it, whatever. I don't care. but I think that's definitely something. I mean, it lets people get their speed out instead of wasting their drag cars in the city. Because I've seen multiple people drive. I don't drive my drag cars really in the city unless there's like a drag event. But I've seen people fly through Legion at like 220 miles an hour, and they pass cops, and cops just look at them like, clearly he's not stopping, and I'm not going to chase him. So like, what's the point? And to me, it's kind of like pointless. It's like, what are you doing? You know, no one's going to chase you. It's like shitty RP in my eyes.
Definitely. I mean, so Frank has already kind of done some drag stuff. If you want to go up there and start kind of RPing it out, we can
Yeah,
definitely play
but
it from there.
So let's talk about
is
Flip.
there
What are the options out there as far as drag strips and the possibility of keeping drag strips to where they are always there instead of in and
like
out?
almost
Is
like the
it?
drift track is kind of always there? It's like I know there's definitely some drag strips, and I would be down to host something as
Yep.
per like quarter mile, eighth mile, and we could either do half mile or full mile, which I know some people's cars, it could be different brackets. I know some people's cars run longer in the mile, some people's cars run better in the eighth, some people run better in the quarter. So I feel like if we could get that up there, it would also bring more of a PD presence up there instead of people just flying up the highway doing 200 miles an hour and a bunch of idiots driving through Legion Square in their drag cars at 300 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all that is kind of what we're leaning towards as far as like a drag race. Like we can look at stuff. There's all kinds of talented other map makers and stuff out there too that we can purchase things from. We also can
I'll
just
pay
do some of
for
our
half.
own design too. But there's that Sandy Shore Airport. Maybe we could just modify that into a drag strip, like an actual drag strip.
Yeah, that's because the one down south, the main airport, when we had the drags, there was like a lot of uh locals driving around and stuff, and it kind of got
Mhm.
hectic. They would smash into people's cars. So that's why I was thinking that was the best location because no one's ever really up there, and it'll bring more traffic up there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. We can. I mean, we can make uh peds not spawn in certain areas too. That's not really a big deal. We'll figure that out.
Well, if you guys have to pay for a drag strip up there, I would definitely either pay for it or
I mean,
contribute
we
to
just
it.
support ideas that are good. I love racing. I mean, so anything that people want to get committed to as far as racing nights and stuff, like certain classes of racing too. Well, I'm
Yeah,
more big on the class racing. Like if you like drag, then hold some drag races. If somebody likes drifting and they're everybody seems to like that. I I'm not more like that's kind of how I like to run it. I don't really think there's a problem with having too many racing
yeah.
nights.
No, I
So
would definitely run like different. If I was to host it, if everyone's down, I mean, I would hold different classes like street tire, radial, full drag car. Because I have multiple one-on-one drag cars. I have one with like a street tire that doesn't take off as quick, but it starts picking up steam in the higher gears and stuff. And then I got street tire cars that are also very quick. So it'd be like multiple stages. Everyone buys in, and then you race your class, and it'd be
yeah, well,
you're
we
in
could
that
definitely
class.
talk about those details and stuff. But yeah, I just mean like just to have those nights where it's go kart night, where it's like tractor night. I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would love to see that kind of involvement where the community, not even us as admins, but like community is just like, hey, we're doing drag night Tuesdays. Like, cool, awesome, we support it. We'll help you
Yep.
get to that point where it's actually
yeah.
organized the way you want it.
We need
Exactly.
passionate people to do it, and the people that step up and say,
Listen,
"I'm passionate about this," then we will support you because
I'm
it will
all.
help the growth in the city. That's all that matters.
And hopefully
Listen,
it's just
So,
fun for everybody. It's the whole
yep.
reason for this.
Because I'm
hey,
gonna drift. I will
I'm.
beat Justin Time's ass at drifting soon.
I don't know about that, big dog. You got to beat me first. Remember, I'm number 2.
All right, all right, all
And
right.
thanks, Mona. Appreciate it,
Thanks,
man.
Mona.
Maiden.
Yo,
What you got,
so
buddy?
I just have a couple quick questions, like a couple things to say about adding stuff. So, like, one of my questions is for those of us already in roles, like for PD and stuff, are we keeping our roles?
I don't have any issue with that. now would be more the opportunity if someone wants to, like if they want to start PD, they could do that, right? But I'm not saying we need to hire a new commissioner as an example.
Well,
Like if you're established in your roles, please correct me if you feel differently, Flip. I just don't want to feel like starting over at square zero with, PD would be the wisest move.
well, I mean, it's going to be anyways. Think about it. An admin's going to have to give you their job. What's the difference if you just go into the PD and just getting the job? Either way, you're going to be starting fresh. Everybody will be. So I guess you can choose to make a change at that point. If not, then you can continue doing what you're doing. I don't think anybody's going to try to like disturb that.
All right. So probably put in the application again, or would
No.
we have to?
No.
No, I'm just saying if you decide to make a different career choice at that time, that's up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So Justin,
I don't plan on turning everything upside down as far as some of this stuff goes. Like I understand legacy. I honor legacy. So like loyalty and stuff, but I just want to make things more balanced. I want to make things run better. I want players to be more involved, empowered, come up with some damn good ideas, and me and Josh make it reality.
And I think Justin, the point of in the letter that Xander, the post that we made, I think the point is that this is your chance that if you decide to create a PD character that is, from Bad Boys or whatever, that's your opportunity to be creative with who you are as a police officer, whatever you decide to do. But essentially, I think that's the point. Is you still have your role, you still can continue to be an officer, if you so choose, and if people are crim and they've been thinking about doing officer, this is their time to create a new character and come out as some motorcycle cop or whatever. Like, just right now, creativity is where people can go with it.
Okay.
And like I said, we're always open to ideas. If you guys ever come up with a more fair idea on how to run something, God bless you. Like, give them to me. Like, I'll take anything into consideration. I'm a very open-minded person, so don't feel like I'm gonna shoot you down if you have a dumb idea. If it's a dumb idea, I'll tell you it's a dumb idea. Like, don't take it offense. But if it's a great idea, then yeah, we'll definitely implement it.
Yeah.
I love good ideas.
And then one of the other ideas, well, a couple ideas I had was because I watch a lot of roleplay on YouTube, and one of the servers I was watching is they do a lot of like tactical situations involving like EOD or SWAT. I wish we could get more into that. Like, I don't know, like let's say there's a chemical explosive that's left somewhere. Hazmat comes in, and so is EOD with the police department. Or we have something like a casino heist where we have to call in SWAT to deal with the situation. More situations like that I'd like to see as well. Because just doing regular beat patrol every day just gets kind of dull and boring. We don't have like anything other than a bank robbery to really excite us.
I'll speak on some of that, knowing that I've kind of
Ricky,
lived
are
that
you
life
here?
too. Just a quick call out too. A lot of those things come with population as well, and with the future, I think we are seeing a vision of the population increasing, and with population, there's going to be some fixes. I do know there's been some massive fixes that Flip and Josh have worked on to make it to where bank robberies can't happen so frequently, so you guys have time to actually investigate and do a little bit of police investigations rather than I'm on to my next robbery, I'm on to my next robbery, I'm on to my next robbery. Now we got a hostage. So there's a lot of work being put into that, just so you guys know.
Yeah, but flat out robberies at this point suck. I know. I mean, we don't even have to talk about it. It's something that me and Josh will definitely make sure it's amazing. I hate the way the robberies function right now. It's no secret. I'm really disappointed that I couldn't get you guys better functioning robberies in the amount of time I had. So that is, I mean, these are the kind of reasons why Josh is here. I mean, not only is he a partner of mine, but I know that he has the skills to do what I cannot. And then that allows me to do my best thing, which is to help manage things. I mean, I can do the basics and all that stuff too, but Josh is just way better.
Also, keep in mind, man, you got a new commissioner, so just work with them, throw out ideas. We want you guys to just RP to the fullest extent of the law. Get creative with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Justin. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Gorilla, thank you for finally joining us.
Yo, yo.
Yo.
What's going on? Hey, sorry. I just had a couple quick things that I wanted to kind of bring up, maybe even possibly implicate or whatever in the server someday.
Yep.
Someone, I don't know who it was, brought up something about murder for hire. I think it was Christian, how he used murder for hire to make money. I think what would be a really cool idea, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe having some type of not Merryweather, but like a company where you can call, say someone pissed you off, say, Jack Cage fucking wronged me or something. I want to have him killed, but I don't want my gang or anybody else tied to it. Say I pay a hitman service $50K or something like that to off them. Is that something that could be possible in the future?
I mean, why can't that just be done within RP? I'm just at devil's advocate, right? Why can't I go hit up Joe Mammers as an example, who has been known to off people in his spare time, to do the dirty work for me, and that stays at least within the RP side of things instead of going to
Yeah.
I mean, I love all the ideas. Everyone's throwing great shit at us. We've already been kind of brainstorming a bunch of stuff, but I do want to see some things that can be handled in RP. Stay in RP just so we can have those interactions, and you guys can also get creative within. Not everything is just scripted and handed to you.
Right, exactly. No, I get it.
Yo, pardon me, guys, if I could chime in on this topic, but may I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, CJ's idea is very good, but I feel like when things start to get there, it kind of turns into a gray area where people aren't sure if it's against the rules or not. Because if I hired a hitman and the hitman just rolled past and blasted somebody, they would get tight and make a ticket and call it RDM or something like that because they didn't know who put the hit out, they didn't correlate it with the scene, because the person they robbed and killed shouldn't have remembered the situation to begin with, you know?
I
Yeah, I
agree.
mean it's definitely it's agreed.
It's a slippery slope,
Definitely
and that's where.
I do have to chime in. There could be a rule in place, so say just in time sends his regards, and then they're dead.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Like they could send a message before it happens instead of just being totally random.
I
Just an
totally
idea.
get it, and I understand the cool factor. I also want to see, people nut up and handle their own business as well, though.
right. And
Keep the RP
he's right
within.
to an extent in that regard, right? Because as we say, there may be RP from your perspective, but you have to put yourself in the other person's perspective. That's not RP, right? Where's the role play? It's a situation they had no control over. They weren't involved in it other than just it happening to them, right? So it's we just have to think about all those things. So
No,
I mean,
I think they're right though. I think that it's something that eventually you got to keep in mind. We're now talking about 300 ideas,
right.
so we can work fast, but not that fast. I like the idea. It would have to be some kind of informative thing where everybody knows the player at least knows what's going on, but I don't see why it couldn't be something in the future. I think it's something that you could RP out as well. A security team now, a hireable security team that's AIs, and just their job is to protect you. Now, maybe that would be something I would be more keen to implementing than a hitman script.
Definitely.
Yeah. Someone that can even if it's just not even like a player, but have just an AI or just some random citizen or whatever. Kind of like how they have the mugging script. I can't remember which
John
game it
Wick
is.
just comes running down on you.
Just fucking comes up and just fucking bashes you.
Helicopter just flies over your head, and he just
ropes
John
your ass
Rambo comes
up.
down a rope and with a machine
Could this
gun.
work for gang peds? You could script a gang ped to be on the turf block for example, the Balla's turf. There'll be Balla's on defense. If shots pop off on Balla's turf, there'll be AI there to protect the turf as well.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
We've talked about territories, so yeah.
Yep.
I also have one more thing I want to like ask, or not ask, but like mention. And I'm not like stepping on toes or nothing, but PD recently, because ever since my cousin joined, like obviously me, McCummins, and a couple others, like higher command people, like, I was speaking with them, and like the direction of PD right now is kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, shitty. And I think that like if we could possibly do something with that, like I don't know what we got to do, whether move people around or what, but like because like if you plan to release the city and stuff, and we still have the same shit going on with PD, I just don't want
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. If we have the same issue, and I feel like a lot of it is just based on where the hell we're at in the
It's
city, dude.
population, man. It's
People are
pop.
just fucking bored. Nobody's doing crime. They got money anyways. They're just dicking around. So then,
Yeah.
what's the point of having cops? And then when the cops get offline, is when people want to do the crimes. And it's just kind of been that kind of miscommunication. I've been seeing it happen for fucking weeks now. But honestly, I just it. Hopefully, the wipe resets this. Hopefully, advertising, getting new players, brings new life into the city. I know a lot of people that even develop their own cities that are just they just want to come in play just to see like just to
yeah,
RP for fun like because it's not their city and
right. You don't got to worry about it.
yeah, so they can have a good time and not have to worry about being swarmed. So I mean, I think we'll have plenty of excitement. The other thing is what was as far as the territories go, yeah, we talked a lot about the adding
Mhm.
territories and making them more dynamic, meaning we want to see you guys more in your territory, and for so you be rewarded for it. Because that I feel like that's a nice little part of RP is actually having like real gang conflicts, and so like maybe we're looking at things that make it more dynamic and exciting for the gang member.
It'd be cool to expand territories as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Like gangs could take over like the next block over and branch
Yep.
off,
Just
and you
neutral.
could
Just have to
Yeah,
hold
San
down
Andreas shit.
flag
yeah,
type deal almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
you
like
could
capture the
spawn more of
flag
the
where
gang
you,
pets to
where
like
we can hold your
signify they
spot.
got that area.
Yep.
CJ, thanks, brother. And
I'll
I will
probably
say that population is what can feed the city, and if it's stale, then yeah, of course people aren't flying in because
Well, then, yeah, that
it's
obviously
just
that
part of
hurts
it.
it, but
Hmm.
this is what I'll say. We'll hop on as cops ourselves as admins, and we'll have a great time if that's the way it ends up being. Because like, I have no problem with that. Like, then that holds us to a standard. Because for one, we're admins. Everybody should be just acting like players and not admins, and we'll have a good old time. So I wouldn't worry about the police either way. I have a feeling the cops that we have now will be just as excited to come back and do some cop work. Um, but if they don't, we'll business as usual. And we have enough admins here that would love to play as cops and have fun with you guys.
And keeping in mind that, gentlemen, this is your time too. That as you're creating new characters, if your time to be a cop is now, then do it. I mean, we always need people to be able to step up in that role and not, take offense
We'll
to what
do as
happens.
much
So
as we can to make the city fun. That is why Josh is here. I'm committed to making this the best city I can. That's why Josh is here. So just trust the process. We are the 76ers of 2021.
thanks, CJ. Justin.
All right, my question's very short and sweet. You said all the people are keeping all their one of ones and whatnot.
Yeah.
Are modifications staying on said one of ones?
Nah, you'll have to buy. We're gonna have a whole new system, part based.
Okay.
So I want to make it instead of just some guy clicks enter and he puts on turbo. He actually installs a turbo on your car, and he actually has to make the turbo. And so like I want to make real modifications for cars.
That's dope. And then so the mechanics are gonna be like more involved with the process of
Yeah,
modifying vehicles.
yeah, more hands-on, more RPable, longer process.
And then another thing I wanted to mention in relation to that is like there's like a lot of times on like some particular one of ones that I have that have like a copious amount of options. And like it gets to the point where like halfway through the build, I feel like I'm annoying the mechanic because I'm like, oh no, go back like 2. It's like, oh, go forward 1. It's like it. I've seen things
Preview.
that like people can kind of make like a build list and then
Uh-huh.
give the build list to the mechanic, and then the mechanic does the mods.
Yeah,
That way it
that's
makes
actually an awesome idea. Yeah.
that way that way it'll make it easier. So I'm not sitting there telling the mechanic to go back and forth 3 times.
No, I like that. So you could preview, build the car that you want, and then it sends it off to maybe the
Prints a
mechanic's
ticket.
tablet or
Yep.
something. At least gives them the information so they can pull up your order
Yep.
and
Yep.
then charge you for it. I like that.
Basically, like a blip where they could go and look through it and not actually buy it, and then just tell them the numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's actually brilliant.
I'll write that down in my. Or Xander, write that down.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll write shit down.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
awesome.
Justin. Appreciate it.
Jimmy,
right.
do
Jimmy
you have
Neutron.
anything?
Yeah. So I got 2 questions. The second one's a little controversial, so I'll stick with the first one. Back onto the what was it called? The dark web. I've seen before there will be an app on the phone, the dark web app. Usually, gangs or business owners will use that to set hits out or sell weed, crack, in bulk amount. Is it possible we could get that in the future to like do that for what you need to use it for?
Yeah, I mean,
Just something to communicate.
yeah, I would say yeah, but it would be our own. It'll be something me and Josh decide to do.
Like
So I don't
Just
know what
something
that
to
would be, but yeah.
yeah, just to like if gangs want to take pictures of their dead bodies that they just killed and flex to the other gang, like to insult them. You know what I'm saying? Just something, and that way the cops can't see it. I don't know,
Right.
just something to do.
So you don't incriminate yourself, right?
Yeah,
Just
so you
like
don't
the
incriminate
server
yourself on
name
Twitter.
temporarily. The ideas are
4chan-B.
limitless. So I mean these are all awesome ideas, and unfortunately we won't be able to implement every single idea, but the bones is more progression,
Mm,
more activities, more social engagement. Those are the things that are important to us because we think that's what breeds a good city. And so those are the things that we're going to focus on: jobs, economy, dynamicness, like, and
mm.
all the rest of that stuff will be in time. Um, but
A black
definitely look
market on
forward
the phone
to
would be dope.
at least when we release a very polished, smooth experience with some pretty cool new stuff right out the box, and just look forward to a lot of things changing overnight.
All right.
So
Uh,
maybe you'll get on one
this.
day and the job will be completely redone. So, or it might be gone and we'll have new jobs.
All right.
Just need
So
time.
my second thing is bit of controversial. So lately, when I'm me personally, and I can speak for quite a few people. People are tired of just doing bank robberies, and they just want to do a hostage RP. But honestly, it seems like lately there's only 2 options with this. I don't know if it's because everyone's just been trained like that, or everyone's RP's been lazy. But it's either 2 options: either you hand the hostage over and it's a getaway, and 9 times out of 10 is usually you get away, or you stay and shoot and everyone gets killed. Uh, will there be a resource or something the police can tap into, either by taxes, funding, or something, to either give not extreme amount of money, like I'm talking about like 5 to 10 grand, or a small amount of drugs or something as a demand, and then they can escape, like just something just to boost the RP scene? Because I don't know, I just noticing that lately, and it's been pretty
Well, to be
stale.
clear, even if there was an exchange of some sort of goods, there would still be a chase afterwards. It wouldn't be a you can just
Well,
take somebody and then get something.
yeah,
Like
but
that's not we're not gonna allow that to happen. You're talking so you're talking about like hostage demands, like what
yes,
parameters on that? And that's a good
yeah,
example because the uh, judge situation a couple of weeks back was a perfect example. You guys didn't know what the hell to ask for,
yeah.
right? And like everything has to be within reason. We need to do a better job at outlining that. And I think maybe that's something that we can talk about when we reintroduce the new rules. and just kind of have like guidelines on there. So at
Yeah,
least you
we
guys have something to go off of. Because I mean, you guys were reaching into a hat and just coming out with like ridiculous shit, and it's like, guys, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. And you're like, well, what the hell can we do? And an hour and a half later, then we finally got somewhere, right?
I think the
yeah,
most important thing to always look at is anytime we put ourselves in those situations and there's a huge financial gain, what does that do? That encourages more of it. And I'm just going to give you guys examples. Now, granted, when we can get population up and we have more officers on, it doesn't cripple an entire city, but it can cripple an entire city with 3 or 4 officers. And so I think having reasonable demands, but I think your question was a bit more about how can we make it a little bit more um correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, but less just the same old same.
yeah. Same old
And
same. Yeah,
that is a hard battle. That is a hard battle because I know as officers you have your same demands, and you know I get it, but I don't know if we can do anything to change that other than ask people to be more creative with what they say and
Sure we
what they
can. I
do.
mean, we could add new things that maybe like you could do criminal side and police side that would have to that maybe could spice up the interactions. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we planned on tackling anyways. Like, yeah, most to be honest, most bank robberies kind of behave the same. It's old. Like,
yeah,
I'm not here to develop, and I'm sure Josh isn't here to develop just the same thing over and over again. Like,
Mhm.
we're really gonna try to push the boundaries of the framework he spent 6, 7 months building. So
yeah. The
I
way
would look
the
to try to make. I can guarantee that we'll try to come up with things that are creative that makes it not just you standing at the door yelling out demands.
Free passage, no
yeah,
spike strips.
yeah, the
Yeah,
basic bitch package. But the way
right.
Xander described it is how it should like the good idea. Like it needs to be outlined what the police have access to and what's reasonable
Right.
within city
And
rules
man,
and
part of it,
what
it's
they
like
can do.
we might have more leeway, but the problem is, as you just mentioned, it's like when there's a chase, 9 times out of 10, you get away, right? It's because the police
Yeah,
force is limited. But if the
but
police
the
force was
tuning.
as big as the other gangs, right? Like in
Yeah,
reality, like maybe maybe they'd be more willing to like put more on the line
hmm
because they have more resources, they have numbers, right? Right now they don't. So they're
when
outnumbered and outgunned. And now we also have gangs helping other gangs out, which makes no damn sense in my mind, but that's a topic for another
Yeah,
conversation.
but I mean, the biggest thing is, let's be honest, the biggest reason that all this shit sucks anyways, even if it was working 100% of the time, is that car chases aren't fun. Like the way you guys experience car chases, for most people, it's like 20 seconds and they're out of that anyways because they crashed. They're going too fast and peeled out and hit something. And so like the chases, they can't be that fun, to be honest. I think slowing them down in general is going to make these feel a little bit more epic and more fun for the players.
The small change we made did make a world of difference. I don't know about everybody else out there, but it made a world of difference. It extended them a little bit better than they used to, but they are still.
But yeah, I definitely agree. We want to add some kind of uh, different behaviors to our robberies to spice them up. I mean, they're a little too boring and one dimensional.
yeah,
Absolutely.
would a car tuning change help at all?
That's
Cartooning
already coming.
change. What do you mean?
Yeah, we're retuning all the cars.
Oh
That way.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
And it
That's
will
already
help.
happening.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
yeah.
okay.
Hands down.
Is that
Thanks,
everything?
Jimmy. Appreciate you,
Yep,
brother.
that's everything. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it, Jimmy. I think that wraps up for everyone else who had their hand up. Flip, do
We
you have
got
anything else to say
Dakota
before
No,
we
in.
wrap
we
it up?
got
We got
Dakota in here.
Dakota.
Sorry, I've been just kind of listening this whole time. Someone said something about the whole mechanic shop and everything. I hate to be the guy that brings up other cities and shit, but I used to be in a long time ago. I used to be in Eclipse. It's on what's it? Rage MP instead of 5M. And their whole, I don't know if y'all's framework and their framework is anything the same or if you can use certain things that they have, but with their mechanic shop, you can pull up, you open a menu, you select what you want on your vehicle, and then you tell the worker, hey, this is what I want. They'll grab your vehicle, they'll pull it into the shop, and they'll, type in a certain thing in their, text bar, and it does it, and they have to RP it out. So like when I was a mechanic, I had to be like, me opens hood, me, takes out carburetor, me, fixes this, me fixes that, stuff like that. And you had to actually like RP it out. And I know that was a really good way to do it. Also, they had a way where you could spawn like a flatbed and say someone's broke down on the side of the road. See, with the whole system, like right now, I break down on the side of the road, I go steal another car, and I know it's exploiting, but that's what everyone does. You break down, your car's screwed, you grab a local car, you drive to depot,
Or you slash
and you just
8700 mechanic, and a mechanic be like, puts a blip on them for them to come to you, and we have flatbeds already.
see. I didn't know that. I had no idea that was a thing.
Well, hold on. Let me speak up on that because it is functioning. It is working now. It wasn't before.
Yeah,
but
I've
we
been out of
are-
the city for.
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of an issue with it, where in one person's eyes he doesn't see it jump off the car, but in my eyes it's off the car or off the flatbed. But we do have a current functioning tow script for any person to come in and do. So hopefully people start using it more and giving people that take the tow job a little bit more work. So
Or even
See, I don't think the depot should be a thing. I think if your car blows up and say it like literally explodes, your car's
It's dead
screwed.
till the
There
next
is no
tsunami.
repairing it. You have to call like Moore's Mutual Insurance. Have that a thing. You got to call and be like, my car blew up, and they'll you pay X amount, and they replace your car, or you leave your car on the side of the road. It's impounded. There is no, oh, I'm just gonna go and get it out because I don't know. I just feel like people leaving their car on the side of the road and then being able to just go get it anytime they want. It's just an extra garage for a lot of us.
Trust me, I know. I've been bringing it up as a point of contention for a while, about the cars. So, and to your other point, I believe it was Justin made mention of like they could build like a receipt of the things that they want. Like these are things we're actively working on. I don't know if had stepped away at that time. But yeah, anything else for us, Dakota?
There was one more thing, and now that I've just talked, I can't remember. If I think of it again, I'll
just message us, brother.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because I'm about to lay down. So, but I really appreciate y'all. Everyone knows I'm sticking with the city no matter what, and y'all are, y'all got me. So
much love, G.
Oh yeah. That was my question. I don't know if y'all put it in the post. I just kind of skimmed through the post. When exactly are y'all doing the wipe?
Scheduled for December 2nd.
December 2nd. All right, appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks, Dakota.
Pending asterisk, pending the changes, but that's when it's planned.
All right. I'll keep watch.
All right, brother. All right,
Jim Bongo.
Bongo, yeah.
Jim Bongo.
I just had a few concerns about like mechanics. Like most of them just stay clocked in, and they're like all the way on the other side of the map. So would we be able to make it so as soon as you're
Job
like
progression. That's kind
within
of
a
falls into that job progression thing where it's like if you spend more time doing the things you're supposed to be doing, you progress in your job. If you're not good at doing your job, then you don't progress and you don't get any passive bonuses or anything like that. That's kind of the direction that we're going. So like if people
Wonder if
suck
we
at
could
their job,
polyzone
it'll
it
be
too.
obvious to a boss because he'll see his progression of his employees.
Wonder if you could polyzone it where they don't get paid if they're not in the
Absolutely.
area.
You could.
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, you
If
could
you're
of
within
course zone it and make it a factor. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking
Obviously,
if
these
you're
are
in like certain difference or distance from
Mhm.
the mechanic shop, you stop
Yeah.
getting paid. So that way people
Yeah.
I mean, and part of it's too like you got to look at it from their perspective. It's like they want you to know that like if you need a mechanic, you can call them. That's why they stay clocked in, so they show up in services, right? But I also, I mean, if there's 6 people in the city and they want to go do something. I don't want them standing around, on the guys that you might need something. So
True.
we got to find that right balance, right?
Yeah, but keeping in mind that if the services still shows them, they can take that phone call and come back into the
And
poly.
that's why they stay clocked in, right?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. But good call out, Jim. What else, man?
Would we be able to like get another hospital up by like Sandy or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we could figure some out. I mean, I definitely want it to have like at least a small little hospital out north.
Yeah, because
And
every
that's part
time,
of and that's kind of part of us like trying to revision things. Because I mean, if we're starting fresh, that's kind of the idea is how can we make this different than the last time? So, it's just hard because I don't want to make it a place that's just empty all the time and nobody's even out there because it's too far and there's no players. But
That comes
hopefully
with
we have the
population.
players for 2 hospitals and 2 police departments, and yeah, that'd be cool.
all right, thank you. That basically sums up all my questions.
Thanks, Bongo.
Thanks for the questions, man. Appreciate you.
All right, have a good night.
Maiden.
Last one.
All right. Ooh, excuse me. So I had like one more idea when I heard, I forget who it was. I think it was, I don't know. But they were talking about the mechanic shops. Like a lot of the problems I noticed, not really problems, but one of the things I wish that we had was a mechanic shop that we could go to when there's no mechanics online. Because when I be rolling around as PD and our vehicles would get damaged from whatever, we have to roll around with it or try and find another PD car that we could have that wasn't broken. But since there's no mechanics now, we can never get them fixed. So, like, if we had a mechanic shop, like just a dedicated mechanic shop in the city that was only for offline, but it still charged you. So, like,
Yeah, we toyed around with that when we first wiped the last time.
Mhm.
I mean, it's definitely like possible. The only challenge is like the argument can be made if you can't fix your cars, then neither can the Crims, right?
Yeah.
Let's
So
talk
it's
about
like,
And that's
RP though.
what's
Well,
that?
maybe there'll be like depots or spots where a cop could take their vehicle to get a quick repair.
But
Mhm.
okay,
Um,
so hear me out though on that. We have we have repair kits that you have to buy at an auto shop that if you require to be carrying them and putting them in the trunk, then that creates RP of going to get them from the mechanic shop and then popping the hood and working on your own car that is
Also
broke
very
down.
true. If we did engine and body repair kits instead of a spot to go do it, and they just had to be
Yeah,
prepared, like,
because
yeah.
creating that takes away from RP. I mean, it does. Everybody will go to it because they don't want to RP with someone, and that's the only downfall to that. But the fact that you can repair a cop car to get it to a shop to fix it or whatever using that
Mhm.
repair kit that you have to go buy from a mechanic shop gives them profit, gives you RP, gives them RP, and it all just
Creates
works
interactions,
out.
yada yada. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Mhm. And I was thinking, and I know it's probably not possible, but if there's a way to have it when there's like either a certain amount of players or there's no mechanics in the city. Once the mechanic signs in and clocks in, then it becomes disabled. I don't know if that'd even be possible to do, but you know what I mean?
I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I was thinking is something like that instead of it just being always available.
Right.
Well, I guess there's a lot of ways around it because the tow company also. The hope is that we get a population of 50 or 60 where you pull your phone up and there's 9 tow truck operators you could call.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's ways that can be done.
Yeah.
All right,
Other than
Yeah,
that,
man.
just
Appreciate you.
no. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, I
Thank
got a
you.
couple to read to wrap it up, and then we are donezo.
Cool.
This one comes from Alan Roberts. He's wondering if we will expand weed growing operations to not only to be in our home but to the outside.
RP to find out. Next question.
Perfect. And the other question comes from Will Brown. He's wondering if when we wipe, we can change our 101s, or are we sticking with the ones we had already purchased?
There's a lot that goes into that as far as tuning and everything. We're working with the existing files that we already have. I think that's a can of worms that I don't know that makes sense to open right now. Flip,
I think it's
please
pretty
correct.
safe to say that we're
Yeah.
gonna, what you've already purchased and have been using for a while now. So, Flip, you concur?
Yes, we're probably gonna stick with the what you already had.
Awesome. Any admins with closing statements?
Thanks for
I
bearing with us,
don't
guys. We know
I
this
don't
was a
have enough
lot.
people to do that. And we work Ricky to death anyways.
We do.
I think for me, just closing is, I hope everybody knows that we have one priority and one goal and one mission is for people to have fun and RP it out, man. And I know there's some people might be frustrated, but at the end of the day, the vision's pretty clear, and just hope everybody comes and gets their surprises for sticking with us and focuses on having fun. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. I was pleasantly surprised with the reaction today after the announcement. I appreciate all the people that have been loyal through everything until now, and I'm glad you guys are coming back. So I can't wait to do this thing. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I won't waver on you guys. I have no plans of shutting down this server. Ever. We'll just keep it rolling until GTA 6. Who cares? So I
Damn
mean,
right.
as long as you guys
Another
don't waver on
8
me, I
years.
won't waver on you.
We should be good.
I'm always gonna do my best to try to bring the best experience I can for roleplay.
All right.
Okay, boys. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
No
guys.
one
guys.
else has anything else? See ya.
Oh, also the city's back up, y'all.